PG. Mm. Right. Continue our quest. She shoots me a sidelong glare. Barely, Jet steps a little closer. So I'll be practicing on my own for the next few days. What about you? Do you have any other practice partners? The one I can reach out to? I'll probably just lather. I just want to make sure you're taking this seriously. The international plane tickets aren't easy to come by. Yeah, thanks for that, if I haven't said it enough. Sure. She kicks a stray piece of gravel onto the street and buries a hand in her pocket. When was the last time you went outside of South Korea? Japan, for my school senior trip. Could have had a better time, but I was too mad about something one of their far-right politicians said right before we went. You have problems, and you're preppy scum. Ours was too Busan. Barely lasted the weekend. Busan? Busan? Busan. When I don't say anything for a while to think of Locke's speech from Final, I feel a sharp pinch on the back of my arm. Cha Young stops, turns, and bores her eyes straight through me. Take my advice. Nothing is going to get you put back on CHP renown. Not that you should even want to back on. Stop thinking you're a special kind of screw up for what happened to you. Shouldn't I? I spent a year of my life helping them build something only for them to dump me. You're a good player and you can still have a conversation with any of those guys. So what the hell did you lose? You say you didn't deserve it, and I believe you. Even more reason to quit looking back. Better to kick a loose piece of gravel. It's annoying that you're right. You looked up to those guys, sure, but you know how the game is. Everyone is too worried about themselves to seek their necks out of for anyone else. Some of them sure, but Locke. Look, best revenge is living well. So Sangwan, Sangwan, live well. I reach out to jab her shoulder with my fist. This time she doesn't feel the need to hide her smile. Station's just ahead. Keep an eye on your texts. Will do. She turns and I do. Head on my Koshiwon building. Koshiwon? I don't know how to pronounce this shit. Building peeks out from the rows of shops and apartments. No, this one. I opened this meeting with a decree. Today the StarCraft Club begins anew. Four faces watch me from the sea of desks. Well, three if you don't count Mud. Now, I know I said there will be snacks. She can keep getting away with it. When will you learn that your actions have consequences? We're planning tournaments. Inviting KPGA guys to talk to us, and we're gonna play a lot of StarCraft. Our new commitment to collab activity starts now. This XSL is tonight and we're gonna go. They share a glance with another and then stare me down. Huh. Don't they realize this is gonna be really fun? But before I can begin listing all the reasons that they should come watch XSL, the classroom door cracks open. Yuna pushes it open enough to peek her head inside. Is this a StarCraft club? Oh, it is, yes. Clear my throat and throw my hands forward, preparing the maneuver I practiced for this very situation. I'm playing as her now. So, as we are discussing, what does the continued business interest in competitive games say about the growth of entertainment technology going forward? Practically see the question marks appear above the heads of my club members. Come on, guys, we're gonna get in trouble if you don't catch on. I'm not here to observe, I'm here to join. Ah. I rush away from the podium, past the rows of desks, and to the back of the class to take Yuna's hand in mine. Really? Yo, Yuna, I didn't know you played. What race are you? I don't. And unlike you, I'm Korean. I don't. Then you watch? No. They stare. There's only one thing to do in this situation. Welcome you to our club, Yuna. To complete your initiation match, join us on a trip to XSL. My favorite player has a match tonight. What? I have Hagwon. Don't you have Hagwon? Don't all of you have Hagwon? Okay, it's okay to skip every now and then, isn't it? Come on with us, please. This is nothing, glancing between us. Mud and I showed the hope that she'll join with our smile. Oh, Mud is the fucking thing. I thought I'd say no. But I'm not going to say no. I'll go. Jesus Christ, she's a fucking zombie. Oh, I guess I have to come. It's going to be hella crowded. You're right, which means we don't have any more time to waste. Anti-Club Club members grumble grudgingly among themselves before rising one by one. Are things finally getting back to normal? Oof. Games tonight, Evertaron. Hope that the Zerg gets through. Zerg doesn't need your prayers, bro. They've got defilers. True. Eunice stares wide-eyed and baffled, and I drag her after them with a skip in my step. Does she always scream like that if one of her favorites is playing? How many fan clubs are you leading these days, Miso? So close, I can't believe we lost. Yuna, tell me that you had fun. Please, it will soothe the pain in my heart. My eyes hurt from staring non-stop at a flashing screen, and I spent 2 hours in complete confusion at what I was watching or what those commentators were talking about. But I learned that this whole esports thing is real. Those games had energy. Yes. Yes, then it was worth it. We're gonna head out. I'm guessing you're sticking around for the meet and greet, Minso. Minseo. Won't miss it. Oh, you'd like to come too? Might as well experience the total package. God damn, she looks like a fucking zombie, man. Most players have fan clubs to bring them gifts like chocolates after a match, win or lose. Eager as I am to line up, I'm not the first in queue. That privilege belongs to a middle schooler that I don't recognize. Her uniform is extra stiff and conservative. It almost looks like she might be from the countryside. Is this normal? The other lines have way more funds. Just give it a minute, the club will be here, trust me. Well, he did lose, I can assume the lack of enthusiasm. The girl ahead of us fidgets at Yuna. Comment. If he had anything to say, she loses her chance when both of tonight's winners and Axel steps out. What the fuck is this guy? Axel. Ah, it's Axel from the other game, yeah. God damn. What the fuck is that shirt you're wearing, bro? My even eyes beaming bright. When we meet eyes, my heart flutters, and I can't help but let out a tiny squeal. Oh my fucking god, you're such a fun girl. You are too much. I can't help it, it's so cool. Members of Axel's fan club finally start to line up as he prepares to step forward and greet us. There's maybe a dozen of us, most with a gift to hand over. Immediately, a young kid off to the side starts going completely crazy. He jumps at the arrival of someone who is no doubt a hero to him. Axel! Tell me, who's gonna be the first protest on you? Oh. Hey, wait a sec, I was here first. Who's that? Both fans hummed their agreement with her, but most are too excited to see Axel to care. Don't worry, Ozzy, will just take a sec. What's your name, kid? Young Woo. I'm only 12, but I always win against my mom's cousins. Becoming my zealot attacks. I shows a small grin toward the crowd and up behind the kid when he moves the zealot's slash attack. That's so. I'll keep cheering for me and I'll make sure no one claims that title for a long time. Maybe for long enough that he'll have to be you. The shiny autograph wrapped around his phone. The young Chongwoo gives it a long look before clutching it to his chest. Yeah, I knew it. I'm gonna be the protest Onua. I don't know how to pronounce that shit. Figured for his own good, the kid pumps a fist at the fans behind him. The girl who had been first line up stops upright and then fumbles with the giant in her hands, nearly dropping it. As it's her turn to hand off her gifts and share a few words, the sudden attention thrust on her not only by Axel, but also the crowd of eager girls freezes her in place. Axel does his best to help out. Hey there, don't think I've seen you before. Want to join the fun club? Make sure you talk to that girl behind you. And I sprinkle a wave over her shoulder. Some of our other level club members giggle at me, but still she doesn't move. So, is this your first time at the studio? She nods her head mechanically, eyes frozen on the ground. I brought this for you. Here. I'm sorry, yeah. Probably gave away and ran. The middle schooler bursts forward and thrusts a jar with a homemade label into Axel's arms before sprinting for the stairwell with her face covered. Ah, yeah, she did run. Struggles with a massive book bag slung over her shoulders. She makes her escape. It clunks against her with each steps until she's out of sight. Ooh, she was so shy. I'm in love. What do you get, Axel? If this is some stalker thing like toenail clippings, I'm done. No. Hit a mummy. Oh, so embarrassing about that. I hope I didn't say anything off. No way. Oh, here, I brought you your favorite. A chocolate orange, school jacket pocket, and offer it with both hands. So oh, for fuck's sake. You're so reliable, Minseo, thanks. The fucking zombie over there. You love him? Oh no. He's the one that sleeps with him, probably. Sorry for losing today. I didn't want to disappoint, but Shing has gotten really good. Probably the best Zerg in the league today. I have fun watching you no matter what. I even brought my friend Yuna along. She's a total stacker newbie. Always glad to see new fans. Make sure you check out Team League sometime, Yuna. Most casual fans consider it more fun to watch than the one-on-one league. No, I mean, so I'll probably get dragged along soon. Jesus Christ, what a mood she is. Hey, didn't you ever come out? His fans club still waiting. Handful of someone's fans are either gone or downtrodden. Hard to blame them, considering how bad he went out on top of his tardiness. Last I saw, he was talking with someone in the player hallway. The clerk looked to make sure that none of the KGPGA officials are watching. Axel peeks open the door to the backstage. Inside, we spot an old man in a suit cornering Yuhu. Looks like getting yelled at. Are his fans waiting? Yikes. That's the vice chairman. He's been cracking down hard on programs who defy etiquette standards lately. Whoever fell to GG in one of those games. Oh, that fucking thing. That must be what is this about? And the KPG is way too strict sometimes. Anyway, I may be out of XSL, but AF1, what is this? That's team sponsored by the South Korean military. The mandatory military service of South Korea leaves little need to advertise for enrollment, but it never hurts to massage the perception of the male population who joined the army right out of school. It's our time for a team league championship. Where I go? Would you be interested in coming to speak to my school's StarCraft club? Oh, I can test you the details. What's your phone number? Wow. Just like that, huh? Nice try, Minsel. Send me the info through our site and I'll check it out. Yeah, I thought I get it this time for sure. We step out of the crowd, the next fan in line promptly mobs Axel. Know that he'll be there for at least another half hour. I had this warm feeling. They say never to meet your heroes, but that must not apply to pro games. Wow. Then that's your hero? Kinda yanks. Just as we're getting ready to head off, I spot someone familiar stepping out of Yuna's line. Disappointed look. Oh. This guy. Hey, wait. That's the guy that grabbed me and got whacked by Jen. Hey! Uh-oh. Practically jumps out of his skin when I call at him. Even Yuna jolts a bit in surprise. Volume. Oh god, you. Hey, I recognize you too. What's your name? Minseo. If you didn't know, this is my friend Yuna. Hi. What's this about? I know you're up to something. Don't try to get in my way. Like Saku, so we shouldn't fight. Promise to be nice and I'll be nice back. I'm going to host a local tournament soon. You and your country should come. What? Why would we? Because lots of people enter, it will be even better. After all that happened, you're crazy. Move. The guy stalks away with his hands buried in his pockets. He's lost. I was gonna ask if he wanted to get food. To go get food. You're too nice for your own good. I should go. I've got to make up for the hag one I missed tonight. Oh, you too? You could go get food first. We'll be fast, I promise. Sorry, I really shouldn't. But thanks for the invite. You're so fucking zombie. She's a fucking whole mood. Oh, that's me. Something sharp pokes into my ribs. Once, twice, and then a third time. Harder than the two before. Start forward. Arms pull inward to protect myself. The musty scent and lazy rumble of attacks meets my awakening. We're almost there. Achievement unlocked. I peek an eye open to observe a vast shoreline wrap around the muddy bay. From the opposite window, the Chinese city of Zhuhai, I don't know, sprawls far into the distance. I should have slept on the plane. I have to meet with someone at the venue today. Do you want to come with me or sleep at the hotel? I'll come. It'll have to get a lay off the land before our matches tomorrow. Taxi driver grumbles. As far as he's concerned, we're just making a bunch of noise. After just another minute when winding down a seaside road, our ride lurches to a halt. Jet forks over a fistful of yawn. Must be the kind. And we step outside into the salt-soaked air. Starcraft doesn't start until tomorrow, but there's plenty going on judging by the amount of people streaming through the plaza outside of the venue. ICG is as much of a trade show as it is a tournament. Popular esports share this stage with sponsored products, games, and whatever else they think they can sell to the competitive gaming crowd. It's busy, not that I mind. Most of the people here are locals, but a handful of white foreigners stick out as we make our way inside. People stare as she and I grab our badges and hang them around our necks. Neither Jet or I are wearing any kind of team jacket, but I'm sure we read as StarCraft players. Convention Center is a newly constructed complex of always ballrooms and raw square footage. Haphazardly placed banners display the ICG logo at just about every entrance. Help me find the Gear Flame booth. Gear Flame? Is that a game? Some big company's gaming spin-off brand. Keyboards and mice and headphones, that kind of stuff. Giving up your Q-sen? Hell no, let's go. Just seems especially hurried as we made our way through, gawking crowds and neon-drenched displays in search of Gear Flame. On a screen massive enough to see from almost every part of the venue, someone holding a gun walks around a desert theme map. It looks similar to Sudden Attack, but I think this game is called Counter-Strike. Nice! Got Counter-Strike references. I squint, searching out the main search beneath the display. Two teams of 5 were made up entirely of foreigners sit opposite each other outside of any kind of soundproof booth. Europeans against Americans, if I had to guess. Probably. Despite the constant action, the crowd is sparse and mostly foreign. From what I know about esports in this country, Counter-Strike doesn't come close to matching the popularity of Warcraft 3 or World of Warcraft. At that time, on China? Yeah, most likely. Especially if Counter-Strike was still new around. Spectators' point of view shifts around rapidly between the members of both teams. Among the esports I'm familiar with, one thing stands out in particular. Both of these teams are loud. Welcome to actual. Frantic commands spill forth from both sides of the stage, whether they're tactical calls or voice-cracking screams of triumph or anguish. By far the most grating is a laugh from someone on the European team. Match point for both squads. Each are left with a single player near the round's end. Yet as the American player tries to plant a bomb, apparently the game's main objective. The European makes his move. Oh, that was a hop shot. He peeks from his vantage point, aims and lands a final headshot a fraction of a second later. At once, the Europeans scream in triumph and huddle together in celebration. The largely disinterested Chinese girl perks up in time to shower them with a polite applause. It's hard to tell from so far away, but I'm pretty sure that one of them is here. Jeff yanks my shoulder, tearing my attention away from the stage and towards a black and red booth. I have to stay here for the rest of the day. Okay. Why? Paying frowns others away from me, flipping her hair over her shoulders. She's already attracting a little attention from passerbys. I didn't need to. I chose to. That's why. I still don't get what she's talking about. I'll wait out the silence until she says she's done simmering. Just for one day. Tomorrow I'll be able to focus entirely on the tournament. But this is like a job? This is just you here? Seems like a lot for one person. They were vague on the details, but I was told I'd have a co-worker. Look around, do you see any Koreans? Oh, I can say this word. Infa. Must be Shan Young Song. Holy shit, what the fuck? We turn to find a foreign girl clad in a bright jersey plastered with logos coming our way. For more foreigners trail behind her. These were the European players on the main stage just a moment ago. By that, I rate her accent as American. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Jessica King. Most these events call me Syntha. Syntha? Synth A? I don't know. Wow, your Korean is good. You're too kind. That was an insult. And you must be her... Oh no. What did you just say? Before I can respond, that cuts between us. Ha! Yep. Thanks for letting me dragging me along. If you need him to help out, just say the word. I see. Alpha, are you? If you need me to move boxes or play StarCraft. Ah, but that's what I have Shangyang for. Shall I have you move some boxes for me, Jet? Kidding, of course. Entertaining the crowd will be labor enough. May I have your name? I'm here as Jet's training partner. If I peruse my face and builds as I speak, rolling a strap of bright pink hair between her fingers. Ah, wonderful. Oh, I envy close siblings. Doubly those that share a passion such as esports. Pick up something to catch on. Can you go a day without trying to scam someone, Jet? And do we really have her full? Who am I kidding? This girl is white. We might as well be twins to her. That's kinda racist. God damn. But where are my manners? Please, meet my gatekeeper boys. She sweeps her hands back towards the guys behind her decked out in the same orange jersey. They always save one who says to bow after a little hesitation that hurts him the nudge and loss from his teammates. Hello, nice to meet you. I spoke English, I guess. Wow, nice English. Where's our girl from? Yeah. Oh, they're German? Yeah. Stupid question, Jorgen. They are Korean. Yes, her too. She too. Since when can you speak English? You know all that cram school and desk prep you skipped out on? There is a thing along her chin with her eyes on Jet before turning back towards her teammates. Our matches may be finished until tomorrow, but please don't get yourselves into any trouble. Be careful on your taxes and wary of pretty girls invite you to tea and English lessons. If you need me, I'll be here. Infa makes a wide gesture indicating the red and black booth, and ends it when her finger lands on Jet. Her Scandinavian bro squad takes the chance to head off still high on their win. Here with you, Jaeyoung, and your helpful brother, if you'd like to say. Hold on a second. Who's supervising? Where's the person in charge of the booth? Right here. I am? Wait, you? But you don't look the type to. That makes no attempt to veil her surprise before trailing off. If his polite smile gains a few more teeth. That he spent 15 years toiling at Eclair Soft before they finally gave him his share at Gear Flame. Not incorrect to say that I have major pull in our marketing efforts. Oh, rich girl, I see. Aisha Young, I personally hired you for this event. Ah, just hold still, likely wishing for either better manners or a time machine. This could get bad if I don't step in. Working in marketing on top of pro gaming? Impressive. Oh no, no, I'm not formally employed by Gearfully, though they are the main sponsor of Gatekeepers. She points out the Gatekeepers logo on the sleeve of her jersey. Shares that space with Gearfly among many others. I've heard of Gatekeepers before. You guys have a few Brood War players. Americans and Europeans, and yes. To be honest, we're only positioning our run for StarCraft 2. Foreign Brood War players are almost free to sponsor. We can practically pay them in mousepads. She loves haughty and overbearing. Some of the doctors, my dad's colleagues, are just like this, so I don't show the shock that Jet does. Abroad, it's a stagnant market that bores me. I speak Korean and play games professionally, but don't like StarCraft. Mandarin Chinese and some Japanese too miss tongue. And I never claimed that StarCraft is a bad game. In fact, we owe it a great deal. But the game's peak has gone by and its lifespan grows shorter by the day. That's going to get Jet started, regardless of how we worry about the same thing all the time. Yeah, can't wait to see foreigners use StarCraft 2 as a chance to challenge Korea. So when's your game tomorrow? The finals are late in the evening. Most will have gone home by then. Shame that China has little appreciation for the brilliance of the first-person shooter. If we're not passed out, we'll definitely be there to watch. Well, I think I'm going to go stretch my legs. Before you go, she flicks something for me, cool gaze, lock with mine until I fully turn back towards her. Are you competing alongside your Nuna? Ooh. Professor knows that same thing between me and my alleged sister. Jed and I share an awkward glance before I answer. I'm also a StarCraft pro, if that wasn't clear. I'm definitely entering. Of course, that's only natural as a training partner, Jed. Wonderful. I'll have your room key at the end of today's events. Work hard, Shane Young, or I may have to withhold it. We take your leave. I'll see you soon, no doubt. For sure, I'll stop by the booth and a bit. Have fun, Shane Young. After a few minutes running the convention floor, I find the area for tomorrow's bracket play. Right now, it's full of Warcraft 3 players, from most of whom are Chinese, obviously. I don't pay much attention to other competitive games or really games in general. Sounds strange, but I don't even consider myself a gamer. The only video game I've played in the last 5 years is Brood War. Warcraft 3 can be too bad considering it was made by the same people who made StarCraft, but it's too bright and chunky. And the people who play it have serious insecurity issues when it comes to which RTS is best. Ah, the fanboys. That said, if a Korean takes the finals and I see him at the hotel bar tonight, I'll buy him a drink without a question. Uh-oh. On the far side of the rows, the monitor's Locke watches compared. Wait a second. Locke? My feet freeze against the ground. All I can do is watch him stroll down the rows, dressed like any other fan of or passerby. But that can be what it is. He's wearing his CHP renowned jersey. Is he here to compete? To cheat on you? Okay. I dredge myself away from tomorrow's battlegrounds. With a brisk pace and unducked head, I look for any kind of area or booth with relative primacy. Push through the nearest exit door 100 feet from the PC area only to find myself on a balcony overlooking the plaza below. Here too, competitors huddle around screens with controllers in hand. Whatever game they're playing here isn't anything I've heard of before. Likely explain why this poultry section is made up almost entirely of Americans. Certain that I'm out of sight, I hissed a sigh and put my hands on my hips. Him, of all people. Why exactly is Locke lined up to compete anyway? Did he know I was coming? Who else knew? He has to be entering, no other reason he'd be here. Open bracket? Maybe he swung an invite at the last minute. Feel my frustration boiling over in my body language. Catch a few stares from the foreigners, one of which lingers. Goddamn, I'm drawing attention to myself. Maybe I should head down to the plaza and cool off. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? The kid? Yo, are you busy? You don't work here, do you? Instead, I find myself singled out in English by one of the foreigners. While explaining myself, this random kid puts an arm around my shoulder and gestures me past the small crowd. What? No. Perfect, because I need some help on the commentary desk. Sorry, but I do not know the game you are playing. And it's a good chance for you to learn. If we drum up the local interest, that they'll put Smash on the map. You'll make it a watch for them, won't you? What? How am I supposed to help you with that? He neither listens nor cares. If the air outside this balcony didn't have the only person on the planet I'm trying to avoid, I won't tolerate this kid, just my luck. Glad to have you on my side. Desire to show this pricks who's king of the mine. Oh my god. Seconds later, the kid hops behind the ramshackle commentator's table, hurrying the two current casters off the mic, despite their best attempts to ignore him. When they look my way, I feel relieved to find understanding in their expressions. This must not be totally out of the ordinary in their world, even if it is in mine. With a little direction, the kid and I don our headsets and stare into a grainy CRT with our direct feed to the player setup upon the main stage. Nothing I see on screen is even remotely comprehensible. And while I can keep a conversation in English, it's not easy. Told you, I do not know this game. How am I supposed to commentate with you? Right, quick primer. Fellas on screen here have it out in a one-on-one melee. See that number there? It will go up. Higher it is, further they go. First person to fall off 4 times, loses. Each game starts out in neutral. To get the hit, you play footsies. As you get a hit, crank up the mix-ups. 2 types of guesses are the tech chase and shield throw guesses. Crash that one with some incomes. Chases are mostly 50-50. Get happy if you see some nice DI. Jeer when if there's edge stalling. The next match here is between Quantum Pope and Earstars. They play floatsters and fasties, respectively. Got all that? No. Well, give it my best. Let's roll. Afternoon, folk. The gear is always with my co-commentator. Sorry, what's your name, fella? Bolt. Beautiful Bolt. The Smash Novice and I are bringing you the next match here in a jiff. So if you have never watched Smash before, now's the perfect chance. His volume forces a cringe out of the entire audience. They watch him with content as he cranes his neck to see if that swung some local interest. Single person in the plaza below seems to notice, though, given the distance, it's impossible to know how he'd make it up here even if he was interested. Shut up and commentate, the game already started. Relax, Faye. Plenty of games in this round robin group to commentate. Well then I have this. Man, I'm still bleeds from my flight over here. When are my matches again? It looks like the Leonhard 5 is taking a pummeling. This looks like a dangerous situation for him. Oh damn, you're right. It's kicking off already. Alright, let's do this. Bolt, If you're actually letting the kid rope you into this, listen up. Any good Smash commentator knows how important it is to build the hype. If you can't get the crowd on your side, you'll go down in flames. But your co-commentator is a little special. Try to keep him happy. If he gets upset, just storm off. It's happened before. Also, don't take this too seriously. It probably won't affect you in any meaningful way. I've done, bro. We're casting. See these ball space specs from Counter Bubble? Your size can get in all of it. Eh. Those are things. They're epoxies. Fuck. Stop forcing, my guy. Stop forcing your made up terms on Bolt. Okay, I guess what I said was on. Need to figure this out quick. So, you ever played this game before? I care with you, man. Focus on the match. Going well, just swung it back to the match with a big fiery kick. The first game I got this way. Ooh! I don't really get what's going on, but the crowd appreciates my effort to bring a little 7 to match. Alright, yeah, you'll look at that, but it's Quantum Soul stage pick next. Okay, maybe I should ask him a question. That's how the caster and analyst interact on it. So broadcast. How does this matchup go? Hard to say. Stuffed Closter better right now thanks to Voracious Cube. Thank God he stubbed his toe and couldn't make it here. Bro, what's up, Whistle? This is the most embarrassing part ever, man. Watch Leonhard 5 zones with those nooches and then dies for massive damage once he finds an opening. The game looks all fucked up. What do you mean? We'll send on Discord. Okay. Please do. I want to see what is going on. Have you sent? We did. So the text is not appearing, is that what you're saying? Also that? Oh, the background is fine. The background is really like that. The background is really like that. No text though. Why though? How about now? Nada. But why? I didn't change anything. What? Oh, there you go. It's working, right? So tell me I've been reading all that shit until now for like 45 minutes and there was no text. Oh, that's embarrassing. It is what it is. I can see that interesting. Without counting, I can check the VOD if you want. Sure, I can check it later. Anyways, how you doing, man? I can see that. Interesting. Oh, by the way, after stream I need to talk with you, if you have the time, obviously. Looks like lead lumps. What the fuck is lead lumps? What nickname is that? About to close this one out. From what I gathered, the next game determines who's going to make it in the next round. Focus on the matches from here out for the crowd, yeah? Good call. Alright, follow my lead. We go focus on the side managing of the group. To legend Lil Monix Free. Been known to sandbag every now and then, so maybe we'll finally see her try. You mean she taunts mid-match by squatting up and down on the follow opponent? That's way too BM. No. Sandbag, you mean teabag? Isn't shootable. Oops, my bad. Here, check out the combo. The most freeze getting up in damn man's guts. Dude, gross. You can say that. But rein this savage in. Give him a taste of what he's forces to a fighting games commentary desk. There was no text after 42 minutes. Something must have bugged out. I don't know what though. Anyways. They saw from heaven she is primed to vanquish these demons of hell. Only one can rise and climb the mountains ground. What the fuck? For good measure, I repeat myself in the gregarious tone in my native tongue. They can't understand me, but they seem to enjoy the backdrop. Okay. Wow, dude. That was a full of shit. Even the girls seem to appreciate my sudden inspiration. Oh, what great games. Unfortunately, it looks like our time on the mic here is at an end. One of the tournament organizers gestures wildly at the kid to get off the commentary desk to his matches. Well, do you have any final words for the wonderful crowd? Chill a little. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the invite. These games seem cool. Wow, it's so cool and humble. Competitive games are awesome. That's the end of my run as a Smash commentator. Time to figure out how I did. Either the cure or the crowd was much to say to me as an alpha for night. Not much of surprise, didn't exactly go well. After all that, I seek out some much needed quiet. A long search leads me to a secluded balcony overlooking a terrace hill piled with palm trees, construction vehicles. Please remain, it's no text. I will be back in an hour or so. Oh, you're leaving already? You just arrived. Getting a shower? Oh, okay. You take a fucking hour to take a shower? Bruh. Oh, really? Let me guess. But I eat slow. Let me guess. There's a certain female around you, isn't it? And I said female like an insult on purpose. That was the joke. She was here. No longer is? Fuck. Oh, that's why you need the shower. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm done. I'm done. Where I was? Yeah. The others seem to have had the same idea as me. Most escaped the chaos of the convention by resting against the railing with the cell phone or cigarette in hand. By the way, with how's your Portuguese? Can you understand the written Portuguese very well? Like small talk wise. No, I'm not. I'm not saying big words. With the sunset, I'm struck by the night lit beauty of the city. Not quite as well kept as Seoul, but there's a charm to this vacation town. This one of the moments that fledgling programmers dream about. A weekend abroad with the promise of glory and meanings to those of who triumph. I'm here to meet a bunch of foreigners just to prove to myself that I can. I'm wasting my time. What I need is to pull an upset. But with such steep competition, right? Just right. What I want is my place back on CHP renown, really, to practice with luck again. And whether I win ICG or bust out 0-2, that isn't going to happen. I'll check this off tomorrow when I need it to be when I need to be in top form. But for now, I just want to lean against Israel and rest. Changwon? Oh, I know who that voice belongs to. The realization hits me just as I turn to meet it. Coach Park, just 10 feet from where I chose to stand. The surprise in his eyes. Sure, he spelled my name rather than called out with a desire to reconnect. Hello. Wow, hello. Surprised to see you here. Um, are you entering the tournament? Alongside a friend of mine. Glad to hear that. That you're still competing. Easy? Or is just saying the most comforting thing you can think of? What did you do with my bed at the team house? Have you found a replacement for it yet? No, no, your teammates appreciate the extra space given the size of that room. I never plan on finding someone to replace you. Let's understand the financial challenges for our teams. We have to do so much with so little. KPGA will obviously let our team die and replace it in the next season if they think it's for the good of the league. Would it be? There's always has be a last place, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there was a gaping character flaw that put them there. Sorry, but pretend I didn't say that. For a coach to burden his players with details like this. Maybe there was truth to why Coach Park claimed to cut me. Oh, Bolt's box. Mentioned something during the last discussion we had that I made sacrifices to the team. Did you really know that what you were talking about, or was that just a guess? Something that your teammates and I just kind of knew. You carry yourself differently from other practice partners, and even other pro gamers. My vague understanding is that you gave up a promising opportunity to become a pro gamer. Good, he knows. He's capable of it. I want him to feel the guilt he should. Jesus Christ, man, you're feeling like a piece of shit? Is that it? That's how much I want to call myself a pro gamer. That's how much I love StarCraft. He took that from me. Coach Park squirms. Some horrible creature thought breathing around him, not really back. It's pushed me to places that I never expected I'd go. I don't know how I'll perform this weekend, especially with Locke, Fierce, and Jet as potential opponents. No matter what if thrust on me, I'm determined not to let it stop me. That's great. I'm genuinely happy for you. Sure, sure is. Before you were a coach, you were a pro gamer. I was just a player. It was impossible for us to call ourselves programmers back then. Those that tried to live our lives. Those that tried lived hard lives. One, maybe two, succeeded out of thousands. And what did people who weren't braver call themselves? Nothing. Braver didn't exist until the KPGA's formation in 2001. By then I was already old and outpaced. I attended a few times, but retired before I ever clinched it. I don't understand. How did you get this job if you couldn't pass that bar? Bravery isn't exactly hard to win, especially considering the players back then. You're as competitive as this profession requires someone. I wasn't as strong as someone like a young Axel, but I was always involved behind the scenes. To say I was in the right place at the right time. Okay. The military service? Never heard you share anything about your time in the army. Most programmers put it off 10 years ago as well, didn't they? Yes, that's true. But you shouldn't put it off for long. When you're young, military service is a diversion some might find fun. As you get older, it can be a big disruption to your life. That and the age of your commanding officer doesn't change based on how long you wait. It's very awkward to take orders from someone younger than me. Would you have gone early if you knew that what it would be like? In hindsight, yes, but I thought my experience will convince many programmers to change their minds anyway. Okay, let's ask about Locke. You think Locke will make it to the finals again this season? Well, he's up against Ching next round. This trip is a bit of a distraction, as he is well trained in the third versus third matchup. From his explosive start in late 2004 to now, he's only faced more and more challenges. Locke is at the age where it remains hard for a player to stay on top. Reaction times are repetitive used injuries, yes. But as you get deeper into your 20s, you have to start thinking about what's next. Commentators don't talk about it, but it's there. I think you underestimate Locke. There's nothing he cares about more than StarCraft. That isn't quite accurate. Thus, the people of StarCraft that he cares about. More than once hype an audience to his sermons on the importance of the KPGA and the first pro gamers. I'm glad they still hold him in high esteem. Esteem. He always thought highly of you. There are my grimaces with him, there's nothing more I need to say. Mill still wants to cheer for CHP renown. Your teammates and I want to cheer for you too. You know already Ken Young at the venue view today. I'm sure you'll run into him this weekend. How about that? Young wasn't lined up to compete. What happened? Ah, yes. He thought the fans will enjoy seeing Law compete in his place. I nod, both in deference and agreement, and in resignation that I'll probably have to play him tomorrow. I'm ready, man. Good luck in the tournament. I have nothing else to say, so I turn away. By the sound of his footsteps, there's a small delay before he finally leaves. When he's gonna lean against the rail for a long while. How much longer? An hour maybe? He sighs, glancing around to make sure Cynthia isn't living nearby. The space behind the gear flame booth clearly wasn't designed for a conversation. Can't stand this. The ferns here have no sense of personal space. Cynthia? She's so obnoxious and insistent and nosy, and if I hear that laugh one more time, I'll... Oh my god. Young clenches her feet with certain this. I see veins shown on her neck. Chill. You're going to get a gray hair. Tell me I'm almost done. You're almost done. With a deep breath, she slips past me and back into the main gear flame area. Group of industry types huddle around Sinfei rather than placate them with a photo op for free subs. She commands their attention with conversation. Her Chinese and complex English is hard to follow, but it's obvious that she's telling them something esports related. The way I understand this industry, it's basically impossible to make any money paying teenagers and 20-somethings to play games outside of Korea. Yet, year after year, foreigners insist on doing it anyway. Because it was too soon. That's why. My guts tell me that it's mainly because it's fun, and partially because they convince themselves they're building something that might be sustainable someday. AKA now. Former I understand, but I'm skeptical of the latter. Either way, I'm not going to complain if they're ill-advised. Ventures fund an event like Safer bars with a trio only after exchange business cards. Looks less crowded than before, offering a jet a momentary reprieve from PR mode. But see one of the sponsored titles drawing people to the main stage. With all that pump and Chinese money, they better be able to bait a few nerds to watch a soulless game for an hour. Oh, what? Welcome back. Enjoying ICG? Doing alright? I'll give you a better answer tomorrow depending on how I place. Oh, eyes on prize. Fine competition for jets. With what I know about StarCraft rigorous training requirements, we'll spend the rest of the day practicing for tomorrow, yes? No. We'll both need to warm up tomorrow, but a last minute crum session won't help our chance of winning. Best before high stakes match should really be the new standard. How it's structured? Consider yourself lucky that you need not plan around team meetings and strategy discussions. Only during Team League, but I'm not in the mood to hash out every detail of our superior method. Oh my god, this guy. The less I know, the better. Then, one last activity for the fans before I leave the two of you to your evening. What? Another gimmick? Come now, Shenyang, you put quite the fight in Guitar Hero. I'm not convinced that was your first go with a plastic instrument. I'll place you in familiar territory this time. Relatively speaking. She points her index and middle fingers at us and then brings them together. I'd like for you to play Root War. Together. Guess one of our interested guests. Huh? What? Like Micro? Custom game? Whatever that is, unlikely. One of you will use the mouse, the other will use the keyboard. It should prove quite entertaining. Fine, Knuckles, much congratulations, scrub blindfolded. Is that so? Well then, that won't do. We'll have the two of you as one take on two opponents. That's only fair, right? A reprimanded Jet with a stare, while Sniffer pulses with an off left. There goes our ticket to an easy exit. Not long before Sniffer parks her challenger. Problem 1, winner set to receive a keyboard or headset. A number of interested con goers peel away from main stage. Don't line up to compete, and many more sleepy to watch. Even a foreigner decked in team and sponsor logo stands among the spectators. At least he has the decency not to line up as a challenger. If a keyboard and mouse weren't meant to use our unfamiliar. We're meant to use our unfamiliar to my hands. As our two challengers are getting set up, I turn to Jet. Any preference? Mouse. Also, we should please those. I don't have much faith in his ability to pick a good map. Just feeling confident, I don't have a problem letting her lead. Should get loading the map, a look at our station reveals something amiss. Nifa, we need another chair. Oh, but that's the part of the game. One keyboard, one mouse, and one chair. Before I can process further, since smashes the ready button at the countdown again. Shed a nice rumble for the seat. So I'm the first to see ahead of us. The crowd is clearly enjoying our conundrum. You You stand. The table's too low to the ground for me to reach without squatting. Hell no, I'm not about to ruin my wrist before a tournament. Move! Forces away into the seat, grinding her hip against mine. With neither of us willing to back down, we end up with an uncomfortable compromise. The left half mine, the right hers. Our spat ends on an instinct when the game finished slotting. Seconds wasted at this stage could leave us a minute behind in the mid-game. For once I'm grateful that Jet and I locked behind the language barrier. So we're busy commenting, our conversation is our own. Overload next. Do not make it wrong. What's the yacht key again? Any call stuff a pro gamer? So, was as bad as reaching for a pylon. Wait, I can use both hands for hotkeys. Ha! Press the key with my right index finger on Q, but my right hand index to my left, it defies the years of muscle memory I've built. It's only a minute later that I'm instead using it to rest my chin. Put this run on 1, the world on 4, and the hatch on 5 when I select it next time. I use the location keys for my bases in the early game. Then when I'm done marking markers, I use them for bots. You should try it, it's way more efficient. You're not just not key the base and don't jump to it without telling it. Then when I tell you to, you jump to it immediately. When I say so, double tap 5 and be ready to eat tea. Not now. Double tap 1. It's got the Zerg with a clumsy 4 pull underway and the turn apparently playing standard. Neither have scouted us, and a glance to my right shows why. Heads up, they can see our screen. Point out the many screens around the gear flame booth, broadcasting our first view. As if a 2-on-1 could be any worse. There's also they've also got full intel on us. Like their opponents are good enough to make use of the stuff like gas mine, but they knowing our spawn location will make this challenging. Regardless, Shed remains more concerned with me than with our opponents. If that's the case, they could worker rushed us right away and instantly won. Since they didn't know that, they're banned. Now Lynx, Zay. She's right, she's noted from Jet that I'm now bad in her judgment. Exerting attack are natural. Our expansion takes almost 10 full seconds of damage before we're able to drive them away. Luckily, the opponent's late retreat lets us score a few free Lynx kills. We're in a real game of StarCraft, our defense there practically guarantees victory in the next 5 minutes, but behind that Zerg's attack, his Terran teammate is powering up unchallenged. We need to scout. Already on it, 2A. Zerg will probably spend the next few minutes trying to establish an economy, given that he's so far behind. That leaves us plenty of time to deal with the Terran. Peek inside his base with an overload shows an absurd number of barracks producing marines, fighters, and medics. Safe to say, he expanded early. We're not going to have time to go for mutalisks. We have to. Harass is the best way to crush players with bad APM. It'll be fine, we'll build a few sunken morph the geyser. We cut corners as quietly as possible, certain that complete safe play is neither necessary nor wise in this situation. Amount of panic subsides when our messy pack team zergling micro at the front of the Terran's base dissuades this attempt at a push. The intel they get from screen looking should offer them enough time to construct plenty of spore colonies and missile turrets. But Jet puts a RAF on full display, pulling the Terran into submission with nothing but 11 Mutalisks and an Overlord. The first hits hard for us to get the timing for the moving shot down. After a few fell out, she calls out P. I press the button just in time and together we mow down a worker line. Casual StarCraft fans should know that Patrol Micro exists, but that doesn't make it any easier to defend against. Should we take a further just in? Except for the macro problem, plus this is kinda fun. It shows the smell before turning to hide it. At this point we're just showing off. Jet shoots down a suggested proxy a hatch or two, though no, not without a suitable replacement. As we wash over their command forces into the Terran's main, we fast the command center just before it's destroyed. To the crowds followed the line who used them to train a few infested Terrans. They promptly destroy what's left of our opponent's zergling army with stylish flair. When the challengers call GG, Jed and I still feeling and lean back. Jed, enjoy your buzz ride? We're working hard so that I could take it easy, right? Bleach. Let's switch. Lose herself on overs above me, taking my place on the left and when I squeeze by. I've had a hard time calling the way and we're screaming against one another comfortable, but I hope she's enjoying this as much as I am. Hip to hip, we slay 3 more challenger teams. There's a close call in game 3 on one of our opponents actually goes for the SCB rush. Oh, he apparently couldn't convince a stranger teammate to do the same. We're saying word to one another, we execute the damn near exemplary shift click worker micro. Only a single probe falls to the opponents for SCBs. After our 4th victory, Sinfei announces contest conclusion to a disappointing line of hopefuls. With her headset unclaimed, she graces each of the challenges with mouse fuzz instead. Well then, I thought my handicap might hamstring you more, but my crowd was entertained, so I have little to complain about. Thanks, but don't you have a prize for us too? Ha! How could I forget? She powers the back on her hand with that piercing laugh. The others reach into her pocket and reveals a keycard. I've sharpied the room number on the front. It's within walking distance, just 10 minutes down the King Lulu. What the fuck? Jet lurches forward a little too eager before stopping herself. When she does take our hotel key from a grinning Hey, it's a a business card. Thank you. If I don't see you around tomorrow, I want to make sure you know that I really appreciate this opportunity. It was physically painful for Jet to say that. Well done. Oh, don't worry about that. I'm sure we'll be in touch. Enjoy your evening, Chanya. One. I'm probably butchering the names, by the way. What a bit down. You had a good time, just admitted it. You weren't there to see everything before that. Hundreds of sweaty nerds clamoring for photos and autographs. Hers too, but she made it look easy. People want your signature. That's a good thing. And say hey seemed nice enough. You think she's nice? She's a smug naughty at all with an annoying laugh. I don't like how she looks down on me. She picked you over anyone else. She'd more than that. Should have told you before, but I got an invite to this tournament. Same seed as Spheres or anyone who won their regional qualifier. You're not playing in the open bracket tomorrow. No. And it happened right when I responded to her job offer. I'm sure she had something to do with it. What can I say? Yet another handout. I don't want to go through this again. Just play well tomorrow so I don't have to hear about your insecurity anymore. Without a comeback, we suffer the next kilometer in cold silence. This suggests route to the hotel takes a long brick paved promenade. Locust glow light passes and the palm trees overhead shaking the wind. My left waves wash against the rocks beneath a foggy sky. I'd enjoy the sea breeze more if it didn't remind me so much of Busan. Busan? Is it Busan? Sorry. Fine. Huh? I saw Locke today and my old coach is competing. Locke? Here? He was, god damn it, first and second place for last season's XSLL. What kind of jiu-jitsu do your coach pull? This is such bullshit. KPGA show of force maybe? Plus I'm sure he's got way more international fans than someone like Young. He deserves the spotlight. Well set with fears or luck would put either one of us in the spotlight. I didn't want to lose to anyone, but especially don't want to lose to King Young. If either of us make it that far, we'll have done enough work to be proud. Just play good games. That's all we ever do. I know you want to win something. Open bracket starts at 8 AM tomorrow. Did you know that? No, but I knew that you would. She shoves me and walks ahead the rest of the way. Not sure what I expected, but the fact didn't dawn on me until the elevator right up onto the fourth floor. Shenyang and yeah, sharing this hotel room on that fucking bitch. One king size bed sits in the center of a room with another major flaw. I can't believe if considering she was booking a room for a pair of siblings. But what the hell is the point of a window to the bathroom? It has been 10 since we stepped inside. Retrieve our belongings at a languid pace. Each trying to move slower than the other. First one packed the burdens themselves as a far. The first one packed the burdens themselves as far. This is badly translated properly. Climb into bed and shut off the lights or break the sound. In the end, it's her. Don't look. There's a window opposite the door with a night-lit view of Zhuhai, but I chose the certain darkness beneath the bedspreads instead. Scent creeps beneath the door, followed by an herbal scent. Discipline. Oh no, he's getting all excited. The hormones are kicking in. Oh boy. The bathroom door opens. I hear footfalls, a rustle of cloth, a towel or more clothing, another minute, and that tired. You can look now. Just resting my eyes. What time are you waking up tomorrow? You'll be awake by at least 7, so around 10. Then probably. Why? I won't give up the sleep. I don't like walking alone, especially if I don't know the area. Let's see. I need to respond to this message. Give me a second. Good. Right. I like walking alone, especially if I don't know the area. Fishing, I'll take a seat at the bed's edge. When I finally look, I see her racing a brush through her auburn hair. Even back home, sometimes. Why? Korea is the safest country in the world. Kenya doesn't want to explain whatever I'm failing to understand. For a while, the only sound between us is that of her brushing. I did you start dying it out? Dying it. I wanted to before, but I couldn't until I left Shock T1. Suits you, but your natural hair looks better. Who asked you? Wow. When she's done, Shengyang rubs her hands together and falls back onto the bed. Both our eyes on the ceiling, we share a silence. Not supposed to share space like this. I thought I'd feel more awkward about it. I'm probably not past my latent middle school crush on this girl. Everything else we share overshadows it. Oh, so she was your crush. Yikes. We were crum crum crumplingly all together. We always have. Right now, I can ask for more than that. When was the first time you played? StarCraft? Why? Want to know? 7 or 8 years ago. One weekend when my parents were gone, my brother was supposed to watch me at home, but dragged me along to a cafe instead. Watched for a while and then asked if I could play. I just wanted in on the fun. Begged him to take me a few times after that. Then he invited me. Then I was the one inviting him. Without losing to his kisses, it was much fun. He and his friends let me win once or twice before I knew better. When I found out, I was sure they never make that mistake again. It's normal for them to do that for you. Maybe, but I couldn't stand the lie. Anyway, it was a few months before I took my first real game. Like being around them. They didn't mind teaching me. When I did start winning for real, it wasn't bitter. He was impressed. I think he knew before I did that I'd aim for pro gaming. How much better was he at the hustle? Huh? We only did it to his friends and classmates, and it was mostly for the laugh. I learned to love the attention I got from showing off. Waste of times. Hoping Seb would become good or unknown for that reason. Thinking I'd lure my catch was selfish. If you hadn't, I wouldn't be here right now, so it all works out. That's true. I don't think I could have this room to myself. I flicked the light switch to put myself back into bed, only for Young to nudge my side beneath covers. Not yet. Your turn. Fine. I watched StarCraft before I ever played it. Never missed a game of my favorite player. KDG? Yeah. It was the closest thing I ever had to a hero. Was a young top shit display. What drew me was the way he looked and spoke into the camera. His stoicism and sportsmanship. He never let the pain of his defeat show. KDG talked openly about how hard his life was before StarCraft. He was living out of PC banks and skipping school before his big break. I admire his achievements that much more. He played Protoss, of course I did too. With friends from school sometimes, but mostly by myself. My parents never stopped to complain about all the time I spent at PC banks. I planned on quitting at the start of that school year just to get them off my back. And then, well, you. I always had a feeling that that's why I never stopped begging you to come practice after Hag 1. Was the game more fun then? It was less stressful, less complicated too. There's so much for us to worry about now, rather than can go wrong. The game has always been punishing. And I never thought was for getting better. Staying ahead of you was strong motivation. Not for KDG, I'll be here. Talk about him all the time. I wanted to be him. It wasn't just his strategies or playstyle, it was his presence. I so hard to emulate that. You'll get goosebumps remembering the night that they clashed for the last time. If KDG and lost, it might be my favorite memory. You're resourceful about finding a TV. Your parents won't let you watch, and I wasn't going to explain the whole match for you to you the next day. I wonder what happened to him. Hug? HGH? HGH? Okay. Said something obvious like military story or school. You think most programmers keep playing after they retire? Probably not. Maybe at first, but once the champion moves on to bigger things, they can keep living in the past. I'll still be playing StarCraft when I'm an old lady. Count on it. Not tired yet, but sleeping again tonight is important to my performance tomorrow. You keep in touch with anyone from Excel Shine? Nah, once you and I got so far ahead of everyone else, destroying them wasn't any fun. Excel Shine was close to Hag 1, but it had to the worst kind of PC bank kids. I just meant as friends. Nope. Even the few who were nice always made it about what made me different. How impressed they were that I could be so good. But the same thing all the time. But it felt weird and condescending to say it, so I never did. Why did you be stopping out hanging out now anyway? Huh? I never really thought about it. What an obscene lie. Back then, Jet really was just a person I played with StarCraft with. Outside of that, I never scared to hang out, mostly because I thought she said no. There wasn't really anything stopping us from staying in touch when we eventually left that cram school, but it's inconvenient to make plans with someone far away, especially with how much I had to study. Might have talked a few times online, but when I heard she suddenly joined Shock T1, anyway, I missed my chances to stay friends. Not only is the life of a programmer busy, I'll also have looked like a pest getting back into contact only after a major success like that. It was probably your fault. Probably. Considering how obnoxious you were at Hag 1, it's incredible that we started hanging out. Don't blame me. That place was a terrible fit. All my mom knew was that it was chic to have your kid at a good cram school. It's not just that you never did any work. It was that during the breaks you bragged non-stop about almost anything. Mostly StarCraft, I bet. Isn't it a good thing that I did? Otherwise you wouldn't have challenged me. Or it could have just been normal and have asked you nicely. I don't think you had the guts. Either way, I was sure someone who talked so much wouldn't actually be able to back it up. Almost everyone that lost to me had some mean shit to say afterwards. That he conceded with a GG and shook my hand, despite all my trash talk, is what first made me like you. I was too ashamed to even make an excuse. I went home right away, which spares Shay Young my true reaction. The next day at Hagwon, she came to my last chant, and here we are now. We didn't make it easy. Well, when everyone says mean shit, you learn to put up a little preemptive defense. Understandable, I guess. 8 p.m. Remember we used to obsess about 8 p.m. Of course, it was like a real life power level. The more you had, the better you were at the game, and the more impressed all your friends were. Sure, but we had so many unnecessary actions to pad our numbers. Mostly in early game, I'd argue it kept us warm and taught our hands move a little faster over time. When we're crippled by carpal tunnel, at least we can rest easy knowing our middle school APM was out of this world. Was mine higher? I hit around 200 APM when I was 13. Don't remember or even what my exact APM was back then. What are you at now? I'm just under 300 last I checked. Yikes, don't mean to embarrass you or anything, but kidding. Around 320. That now drives a pang of envy up my spine. For a second, I feel like a kid again. We need to change topics or I'm going to spam actions pointlessly tomorrow. As long as it's not on stage. Incel. How do you come to know Incel? Cross Starcraft Club, naturally. I wanted a place to play and show off at the school, so I made one. Wow. That's the first year Incel did all my club work for me. All I had to do was show up and play. We had almost 30 members. I still made time for them after I got my license. Why? It must have been ridiculously busy. Yep, but that's how much fun it was. I wasn't getting much better at the game then. The club made that tolerable. Really? That doesn't sound like you. I made a lot of mistakes when I was 16, someone. I was happy to paint my face and jump on command if I could pretend I was a pro gamer. Every 16-year-old makes regrettable choices. She had unfortunately made some of hers in public. Ursa was there for me, unconditionally. Even though I never shared much of what was bothering me with her, being around someone so relentlessly upbeat is infectious. Yuna might be in for the gift of their life. That's everything I wanted to say to her. I'm glad to have gotten all that on my chance. I want to. Every competitor is most important tool for preparation, alright? For a little this time, sleep. You got it. Covers itself beneath the covers and turns away. I do the same. A bolt upright is bad and familiar. Where am I? Ah, the hotel, of course. To my right, Cheyenne. Watch your sleep for a moment too long. My eyes turned to the clock 6:59. I mashed it up to keep it so clogging the space between us. I shower, we dress, and we go. The walk is good. Already I feel a familiar electricity rolling through me. This feeling is refreshing and a reminder that I am who I say I am. Bolt, the pro gamer. Pro gamer. A minute before we reach the conference center, I clap. Loud enough that Jet flinches at stairs. I'm tense. One like the steel springs in her legs, ready to pounce. I'm going to kill this open bracket. I exalt into her in meeting eyes with anyone that dares to do the same to me. They all break before my gaze. She has at my heels, probably rolling her eyes or something else equally like her, but she's here for me and that gives me confidence. Matches aren't for now, I'm hungry. But food comes after the first course. Foreigners and locals make a spectacle of my warm-up. If I'm in the 400s, something's something they only seen in grainy film or spoken in math. You're going to break your keyboard. Calm down. No, let me write this out. Headphones, blinders, silence them. There, here, I'm alone. Just me and these probes. They might as well exist in my hand. Before I know it, the bracket is about to begin. It's just another format change. 200 players signed up, so the open bracket is best of one now. That shakes me. Chad can tell and steps forward to put a hand on me. You're fine, just cut your base hard on 2 players maps. This is ridiculous. Best of 1? No loser side for top 16 either. They set for hours aside for the bracket. I don't think these people know how to run a StarCraft tournament. Disaster. With such a perfectly reasonable excuse if I lose. I could convince myself that it's an acceptable outcome. It was best of 1, nothing I could do. When I'm not an amateur, I send the thought aside and think of what an advantage I can take from development. I don't need to rush, but I need to put units on the map. None of them can hold me. There's no time to share my thoughts with Chad before the first round begins. An ill-equipped tournament organizer hustles down a row after row, doing all that he can to start matches between brain-dead competitors. Jesus Christ, this guy. Bolt versus Shy something. My first opponent can barely do nothing more but make Zerlings. What a waste of time. You're in the way. Move. Oh. Okay, nothing left of his paltry army. He has since to leave the game. Good. Now, who's next? Asian royalty. There's a ton to fear first upon a competent player who arrives at the base to find it lacking basic structures, knowing that they must defend an incoming proxy. This early in an open bracket though, is just a sign of incompetence. Sorry, but your run is here. Crushed. I hear my opponent shout a curse from his setup. I turn for a jet with a grin. Instead, I see Lock. When I show a rigid nod, he matches it and moves on without a word. Like if you... The support seems keen to turtle and draw out the match. With a ridiculous economy behind my attack, I feel no stress as I engage him out on the map. Even with stasis, upgrades, and zealot drops, trading efficiently with an army like this is the best I can hope for in Korea. But here, more than enough. Good dragon. The opponent seems like a setup from the previous. I know his attempt to stay on par with me in a standard game. But the fun's over. See if you can come back from this. I'll wreak a little havoc. Behind this runs, I've got tech, upgrades, and a massive army ready to crush forward. With this expansion production destroyed and upgrades delayed, I can give myself an easy win. But hey, good game. Inner circle. The preliminary stress I felt going through this island map melted away as soon as I got my first course around. All maps with new knowledge. This guy was never going to touch me. Should have made carries? Who knows, but this is fun as shit. How long has it been since I've actually used the Resurrection Web? In tandem with the critical mass of carriers, it's impossible for him to get close. Camp is production, stay in position, try all you like to claw your way back into this, but I'm not the ones moving forward. If I can finish off this Asheris, this guy has no chance left. Let's do this. And it's done, I'm moving on to the round of 16. Max CPM, average. Well, I didn't know I had to press buttons. I look away from the victory screen by choice. I'm ripped from it. One jet takes me by the shoulders and forces me to my fate. Let's go. Now we need to go. Well, this crowd applauds me as I whisk by. A few more, four small spans out and jabber at me in everything except Korean. Che Young's insistent tug wins out in the end. What's so pressing? Let me savor the win for a second, will you? Main state matches are about to start, and I need to eat. You just... Alright, never mind. Thank you. And congrats on advancing. I'd imagine that the tournaments of losses ICG should have a backstage area for a place to rest and snack away from the crowd. But let's also try up when a tournament official fails to return after promising Jet to find out where it is. We turn ourselves to overpriced convention food, but that too seems out of reach when we turn a corner and observe a line of no less than 50. We're still announcing players that it's time for Brood War to start. We're out of time. Someone, translate something for me. Attention. Jet will trade our autograph for lunch. A signed flip phone and convention badge later. We sprint for the main stage with 2 tangerines each. When Shay Young catches sight of me trying to unpeel one of mine with my teeth mid-run, she nearly trips laughing. With some friendly waving from my CG staff, we find our way into a dark hallway adjacent to the stage. This isn't remotely close to the crisp efficiency we're used to at XSL or even VSL events. We're ushered to a semicircle made up of 14 other StarCraft players. Here's a mock, stand together opposite Jet and me. It's just in time, huh? Good to see you again, man. Lucky you did. In Suhai, the event doesn't start when we arrive. Do me a favor, make it to the finals again, yeah? Shing's looking strong this season. I'm not ready for the 7 Kings to win just yet. I do want a rematch. I owe it to my fans. And come get it? Certainly, I'll give them a match to remember. 4 Koreans, 2 Chinese, 1 Taiwanese. 5 Europeans, 2 Americans, a Canadian, and a Russian, I think, stand backstage. Rightfully, Locke and Fierce are on opposite sides of the bracket. Competition for third is between 4 or 5 of us, realistically, including me and Jet. We have the good fortune not to face one another early, but any good fortune in a bracket like this rise up quick. She faces Fierce in the semi-finals, the same that I faced Locke. Coach Park lingers just outside of our group, anxious eyes intent on Locke and Fierce. I try not to look at him when we break as a group. Masashi's staff finished their rush in an uncoordinated opening ceremony. I can't read today. We find seats in the crowd and wait our matches. Nervous? You know how much I prepare for ZVP and IPVZ. But before I can say as much, I feel an arm snake its way across my shoulders and onto Jet's. Hey, you are, Shania. Flying soon. Yeah, try to get in the zone, so... Then I'll leave you to it. Someone, and is your match? 6. Jet goes second. The light dims, rock music tricks the crowd to cheer, and the player steps into the player behind the screen. Taiwanese player Zen against the Swede. Bafflingly, the players aren't visible up on stage. ICG remedies that major oversight with the occasional facecam shots alongside the game feed. Jet's attentive on the back and forth throughout the series, considering she faces the winner next round. I'm back with not out of appreciation for either player style. Throughout the series, I fight the urge to excuse myself to the balcony. Korean professionals shouldn't need fresh air before a match with a foreigner. With Zen poised to take his victory with a 2-0, I offer Jet a thumbs up when she moves backstage. She answers it with a stern nod. My gaze follows her until she steps out of sight. So, I've learned that this guy that becomes the douchebag on the other game, in the future he becomes a douchebag. Is actually in love with her, with Jet, on high school. She was his crush. But he never told her, and looks like he no longer has that feeling though. When it did not work. No, they lost touch after high school. I think I remember correctly. Yeah, they lost touch. They went separate ways. And he never invited her to anything besides playing games, obviously, playing StarCraft games. And she did the same. She never invited him to anything as well, only game. So it never happened that way, and he never told her. But he seems that he already is way past that. And he's getting, after the first few matches, he was even racist at certain point to the European girl. Jesus Christ! I was reading that out loud. And I'm like, bruh, this guy is too much. It's that type of unbearable Korean. You know, gonna get some water and something to eat. Be right back. Just read it out loud. Bruh, you know I'm gonna let it that one slide, but need to be careful to writing that, man. I can't allow those type of things to be written. They will be like, oh, that's not racism. It's prejudice. Yeah, it's racism. Same shit. I wash my fingers in the future. Knowing you had to wash your fingers just now because of other reasons. I'm pushing it. Too much innuendos. Anyways, what else? Even though the European girl, the thing they were working with and talking to, he was racist towards her in his thoughts. But the girl is that typical white rich girl that thinks she's above everyone and better than everyone. She's smug as fuck. And she's a player for Counter-Strike, by the way. It's this one. It's this one. You both seem to handle pre-match pressure quite well. As we should. Realistically, I'm going to smash my way through this bracket up to lock. And then lose 0-2. Not much to be nervous about. That's a losing attitude, but you don't seem the type. How much do you know about StarCraft? Enough to have extended an opportunity to chat. It's an antiquated game, but not one I nonetheless respect. Right, well, here's some knockout part of something called the Seven Kings. 7 players who made every XSL top 8 for the past year. A caliber far above the rest. Not just skill. Our ecosystem supports players like those 7 before all others. Their personalities and personal stories are what keep the fans engaged, so a team is incentivized to create or acquire stars and keep them relevant for as long as possible. Challenging, no doubt, especially when careers are so brief. By the way, Weasel, I asked you early, but you were already gone. How is your Portuguese? Can you understand Portuguese? Written Portuguese? Small talk, nothing big. Not really? What if I translate you? Only some words? Okay. Then I'll translate you. I have something to show you after the stream. That and I need an opinion because that is bogging my mind, you know. But after the stream, not now. Challenging, no doubt, especially when careers are so brief. Lesser players mostly keep them in top form or lose to them. This stream of breaking out some days is the only thing that keeps us going. I had forgiven Shenyang's lie, but now I understand it. Quite the friend. And on my agreement, I is shifting at once to Jen when she emerges on stage. Her game is about to begin. Wait, what did she just say? Come on, you realize that your Baz has your last name on it, yes? Ah, I see. I'm sure they both kept pace with my teases. Don't worry, I won't have Daddy charge you for the trip. What was her story exactly? Why would me being her brother let me tag along? Oh, I'll let her explain that to you on her own terms. Ah, yeah, the other one lied and said I was the brother. And she teased back by giving us a room with only one bed. Not only that, the bathroom was all see-through. So my man had to close his fucking eyes when she was taking a shower. My man, he's not my man, he's a fucking asshole. I still want to see why he became such an asshole. He was already a little racist and condescending towards people, but it's just a young man being stupid. But on the first game, he was beyond that. He was really a piece of shit, an adult piece of shit. So I want to see the transformation, and I already see some signs here and there. The crowd cheers for Jet since she's a face they recognize. Either that or they don't have any other way of showing their surprise that the girl can play StarCraft. Wow. I'm gonna grab some more food. Okay. Been more than a year since she's been inside the booth. I see on her face as she prepares whether Chinese imitation isn't trepidation, but nostalgia. That sucks in the deep breath as one might do on a walk in the woods. And she demonstrates her confidence in ZVP. Is well learned. One of Sinsa's teammates behind his mother's his amazement. One-sided, like a pistol round against the French. Ha ha ha. Hey, don't talk shit about French teams on Counter-Strike, man. I know they suck. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Lars, I have two rules for professional gaming. Play the video game well and do not say anything racist. I do not like it when you break my two rules. Hey, she might be a bitch, but at least she's okay on that part. I like that. Like that part. Ah, come on, Jessica, you know I kid. As I say, okay, young is everywhere at once. That's a matchup in a nutshell. At least when Zerg is winning. That isn't Jed at her best. Oh, she looks so confident. Her strength is in her reacting to a tricky play. She likes a macro, but I wouldn't call her passive. They have stylist problems against inferior players. They end up reading into their mistakes and finding mind games where there's simply inefficiency. Okay. A wild skill gap on the world stage is remarkable, especially in a game as popular as yours. The gap between us and the foreigners is one thing. Just wait until lock and fierce play. Yes, both are well regarded abroad. Jet too, you know. I didn't know that. I guess would have been that foreigners don't know to appreciate those outside their countries. Yes, such a piece of shit, Bolt. Do you have a hand in their bracket seat? Hmm? What do you mean? That got an invite to this tournament right after your organization messaged her about the job. He thought he might have had something to do with that. Is that so? Well, I have absolutely no say in what ICG does. Don't forget, I'm here as a competitor as well. Chess invitation was no doubt for a substantial profile. Means much to many that she can stand on that stage. Say points to it, adjusts steps out of the booth. She acknowledges the crowd with a wave and then they applaud her until she steps out of sight. She had joined us in the crowd soon after her victory, high on her win. She lies in autographing a few mousetrails before returning to her seat at my side. Nice. Come on, give him all of that. I deleted that guy. Well done. I'm eager to see if Song 1 can follow up your performance. Impossible. Zerg victory is a thing of beauty, a process which means the opponent made one mistake. She and Jet share a laugh so they can get along, as long as it's at my expense. Yes, you deserve it. You are racist. The next match is between two foreigners. I watch only from a sense of obligation. It's scored at 1-1 on the typical base trading situation nearly ends in a time. It is until one player sends too far with his her units to speak of a floating turn building that the situation changes. Without the ability to defend his last structure, the series ends. The next belongs to Fierce. Most pro gamers can only dream of earning the chance to play Fierce in tournament. I believe that Locke is a better player, but there's an inviolable quality I won't deny Fierce's play that is reflected well by his name. Man does not give up. He's made so many ridiculous comebacks in his career that they're inseparable from his persona. Fans and commentators alike theorize that he must prefer to play from behind. I believe that something like that is true, and I certainly can't believe that he would allow himself to fall behind against a foreigner here and now. There are players like that, and I met quite a few. When I watch matches at a certain LAN parties I was in, there is at least one or two guys in a team always. They are just chilling, having their laughs, their fun, and when things getting a little harder, then they actually wake up and roll the floor with everyone. They like being behind and the challenge. But that's about a lot of people. They're like that. Sounds like me. How you like challenge? I do like challenge. But sometimes I goof too much and then I end up losing. For well, nowadays. Back then, no. Back then I was try hard mode all the time because two main reasons. I had a shitty ass computer. To keep up with everyone, I had to actually do a lot and practice a lot. The other reason was I had no way to practice at home. I had no way to practice against anyone at home. I had no internet. The local school, it was all goofy friends playing goofy shit. So every time I went to a LAN party, even if it was with a mixed team or a friends team, that was the only real experience of esports I ever had. And no tournaments online that I participated way later that do not count. Which was just fun to play non-pro, and then with local events where pros couldn't. That was the challenge for me. Well, yeah, I had fun playing with friends and whatnot in goofy ways, but at home, imagine me trying to try hard against bots. It's useless. I had no internet, so it is what it is. Obviously, I never won any LAN party or tournament back then. I had no time to practice sometimes. I had no internet to practice. No, yeah. Oh, I already won some online tournaments. Already won some online tournaments. I won one recently, even. But besides that, you're still young. I'm 30. What the fuck you on about? 30 for gaming is reform, please. Uh, but back then I didn't want shit. I had a lot of fun and a lot of frustration as well. Because if I was given one chance back then, probably I would be. Probably I would make something out of me in gaming. I don't know. This is just wishful thinking, obviously, because Portugal, in terms of esports, is a joke. Always will be, and always has been. Is it better now? Back then? Yeah. Well, yeah. It's still a fucking joke though. And I certainly could believe that. Okay. He does. I'm going. Good luck. Or my PCs are behind the stage if you need one. I roll my neck and answer things as well, wishing wave with a nod. I don't. Wishful thinking keeps you. Yeah. If I dare collecting my earbuds, mouse, and keyboard, the competitor has no need for a flagrant celebration, especially against a foreign opponent. Step through the booth door to behold 100 screaming fans. For all of ICG's shortcomings, I can say with honesty that I've never been cheered so hard in my career. Well, we're a practice guy, not an actual pro. The shock of it freezes me in place. There, at the edge of the stage, I stare out across the sea of raised arms and painted signs. Flash of honor near the front row catches my attention. When we meet eyes, my feet free themselves. I move backstage with the intent to retake my seat, but as I turn into the hall, I find a figure waiting at the exit. He doesn't acknowledge me. When I didn't know better, I think he was ignoring me. Through the overhead light's reflection, I can see his eyes are closed. I credit luck for my ability to tune out the unnecessary. Of the many things I learned from Kyung, I can't pronounce that fucking name. This was one that he explicitly thought. Part of me wants to say hello. I'm fresh off a win. Something is guaranteed to acknowledge. But I said as our need for recognition comes first, and we'll have time to talk after we play. So I step past him and prepare to turn cornerback towards the crowd. It's unfortunate. It won't be a team kill, but it will feel like one. I'm glad. Ki Young? Okay. Hi Young? He? He? He Young? Something like that. I'm glad to see you made it. Did Chan Young Song have a hand in that? Ki. Chad is a good person, a real competitor. I wish more people knew that. Remember the kind, but kindness is not why they persist. It's because that trait is rare in someone worth remembering. I'm glad you kept your word. I'm not ready to move on. And I won't be until I've accomplished something to be proud of. We are right back on the VP. Okay. Hope that's the truth. Well done, someone. I'll admit I spent less time watching the game than I did you. Your face is so honest when you're preoccupied with StarCraft. If my opponent can see, it's not a problem. It is a charming quirk. It says less about the bolt inside the booth than the bolt outside it. Put down your mask sometimes. That's right to understand them. Dive deep into learning about someone and all you find is angst and salt. Wow. Clean game too, by the way. Like on stage, an American crushes his opponent in 2 quick games. Kara gives him less of a cheer than he deserves for knocking out the Chinese player. Oh, they pissed. He acknowledges them nonetheless with a wave before retreating backstage. 9 players left. Production assistant find us in the crowd, hastily ask me and Chad to sit in the front row and to not leave the area for any reason. No doubt they're nervous that the tournament is running 2 hours beyond schedule. Typical. Last time I rounded up those boys of mine anyway. Free up the stage quickly, won't you? Will we see you again? If you're in the crowd. Till that. Jets up again after lock. We spent a few moments before our match begins away from the rest of the competitors. Dan plays well, but you'll beat him. Also, ZVZ is such a coin flip. Just get through it and claim your games against Fierce. Together we sneak a glance at the picture of relaxation, with his legs spread across 2 chairs. Welcome back. In the front row, he lunges with his eyes shut and earbuds in despite the hungry crowd behind him. Alright, time to go up. I should focus on my matches as well. I can deny a sudden impulse. Hey, Fierce. I see recognition in his eye. Without reluctance, he pops his earbuds out and holds them in either hand. I'm 1D. Right? Also your handle. Yeah, it's nice to meet you. I said you against all the time. For yourself or for luck? Ah, well, I just want to say hello. Korea was always guaranteed to win, but I'm glad to see 404 is still alive. I'm just amazed that Chang Young Song is here. I didn't know she was still competing. She prizes us. We're here together, actually. Ah, since what I've been wondering. It's unusual for a practice first to risk the trip alone. No offense. I can pay for a month-long team search with third place. And I had factor second as a possibility until I learned that Locke will place Young. Bad luck. I'm personally glad he's here. I'm always down for a match with one of my fellow Seven Kings. When did CHB Renowned cut you? A few weeks ago. They're trying to shrink the roster apparently. I've heard something about budget problems. Shame. And strange. I think of a few CHP players that cut ahead of you. My ego didn't need that, but it's a welcome anyway. Jesus Christ, he doesn't even... This guy has an ego. An ego issue. I'm here to put it behind me. Well, as long as keep winning, teams will always need Protoss practice partners. You need to add sound alerts? What do you mean? What do you mean, sound alerts? That people play with bits, play a sound. Ah, the bits playing a sound. I never saw how it's done though. Where is it? I need to look that up though. Wait, why? You wanna spend beats with sounds? Is that it? Yes. I didn't know you were a beat guy. When was the last time I saw you using bits? I think I never saw you using. Did you? People also like that. I'm number 7 on bits in here. 7. God damn. Top 10. Which is not much because no one actually lives bits in. You're 7. Yeah. 400, right? Yeah, 400. I can see it here. I have an overlay. Well, there's people here that I don't see for fucking months. Will change soon, I hope. I hope too, man. Otherwise, I don't know. I will go crazy. Anyways. I mean, my place in the beat spawn. Ah, okay. You know, you have a real contender at top, right? Do you prefer to support in bits? Is that what you say? No, no, I'm not aiming for top. Okay. I hate this. Well, they are a scam. Surely you know. You pay way more for what you get. That's why. Yeah. Even though if you send 100 bits to someone, you will get the totally sum of the 100 bits, obviously. But the price you paid for this 100 bits, woo! So I got to fill in a survey and I get bits. You can get those? There's no such thing in Portugal for that. What the fuck? Is that exclusive to your country or something? Well, there's something behind. Don't say anything against TOS. I answer is love with my own. If it is like fears for standing in Locke's way. But I can't deny my respect for him. Anna? Or I can ask how he spent yesterday. A growing murmur from the crowd behind us breaks into a powerful cheer. Then just massacred Jet's drone line. Ooh. He should crush forward if he's feeling aggressive, or macro up with more mutalisks if he wants to play solid. Either way, it will be close to impossible for Jet to crawl out of this situation. That, despite its foregone conclusion, I linger in an awkward silence with Fish until Jet's defeat in game 1. Ah, unlucky. My attention on Chen Yang, I only now notice Coach parking the row behind me. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Fierce slip his earbuds back in. I still favor her to win the set, but her margin for errors just shrunk substantially. Then again, guessing the outcome in Zerg versus Zerg ain't easy. Chat has always despised this matchup, mostly for the rock, paper, scissors elements. C versus Z is volatile to say the least. They're harder than any other matchups to predict outcomes based on data. For Team League rosters, as is an example. I did one survey a while back. Oh, I see. And now I do every 6 months or so. Does it give a lot of bits? Mostly it doesn't. Probably. You'll be against Locke next round if you win. Don't take advantage of your secret info from the team. Oh, it's too much. He lets his screen fall away when I don't answer. If he thought that our early conversation had closed the wound, he knows better now. Right, good luck with your match. No, 500. 500 is already good. It's like 5 euros. No, wait. Yeah, 5 euros. Am I saying this right? Let me see. It's low. You cannot hear in your own channel. I want to see the price, moron. Yeah, 500, 5 euros. Yes. Hey, 5 euros, 5 euros, bro. I'll take that any day. Uh, the next 15 minutes pass in excruciating agony. That falls behind early and desperately claws her way back onto near even footing, only to lose ground again and again. Prolonged as her struggle, I watch SICG run, and he lost. While exposed the rising tide of waves and screams that if it weren't for his place above them, might wash Sen out into the murky sea. For his part, the young Taiwanese plays over sheepishly. See how I might see him as a hometown hero since he won, but he doesn't revel in their praises one might. I can see Jet from this angle, but she must still be in the booth. Should I see something? If not now, then Chang Young flies past the area between the station hallway and out of sight. I find myself in chase. Though I find turn dad's backstage too in particular towards the restroom, I don't see her. As that soon heads toward me, so I brush myself off and walk away to prepare my own game. Good luck out there, don't forget to have fun. Oh well, this guy's got it. And time is money, so I need more. Shake off my right hand as if covered in filth. 2-1 against a foreigner. An embarrassment even if I did win it. I almost don't want to get out of the booth. This guy needs to fucking chill. Jesus fucking Christ. Yet when I do, the crowd is utterly oblivious to the mess they've held. Backstage, there's still nowhere to be seen. There's only 5 of us left. The lock makes that 4 after half an hour on stage. There are any windows in the venue to tell. I know it's getting late. Tifa and her team were scheduled to stage on stage an hour ago. Chris and Zed take the stage next. I feel the crowd is blistering excitement through the backstage curtain. That leaves just me and Locke in the front row, alongside production staff and other industry types. There's nothing for me to say to him until after the game. Although, I want to show him and Coach Park that they made a mistake. Pierce closes out the first game and seems primed to take the set. Although I fight mounting distractions. Is Shay Young okay? What time is it? Will Ki Young say something to me? Which strategic plan do I stick to? Focus, tune it out. Just 30 minutes it'll all be over. Play well, and you'll be worth it. I'll play. I wonder if Locke remembers its final lesson to me. Just a game of StarCraft, let it be a good one. Then at last it's time. Wait, I have to play? Fuck. As the game glows up, a calm washes over me. Without a ramp for the natural, this map makes early Dragoon aggression a prime choice. Test comfortably territory. Or not this deal significantly, so at least be a chance to test how long he wants to play his series. What I find is a greedy expansion poorly defended by the map's terrain. Getting here this early gives me a chance to deny Locke his resources. Don't fuck up now. Probably will. Until he builds up enough army to force me out. I haven't played strategy games a long time, you know? And this, even though it's not even close to it, it's a similar thing. Because I have to position my fucking mouse. Locke positioned his barracks to prevent me from sprinting into his base to wreak havoc. But I turned his choke into my choke. He won't be able to escape his own base without siege tanks now. The damage I've dealt to his economy, I deal a little more and call a retreat. I'm ahead going to mid-game. Fastest ray overlooking the natural expression on this map, Shuttle River Place is another option to go to. Log might be too far behind to preemptively counter it. But to find out if that's true, I right to find an SCV spotting 4 units on the region below, but no missile turrets. This is down to a test of micro. Perfect. With only chill damage taken on my river and 3 units downed, this has already been a success. Where to attack next? What the? A rave? I have to get my shot out there. Log doesn't miss a single moving shot. Not only is he prepared by attack he hard read it. I was about trained. With the raves out, it would be much more difficult for me to get anything done with the shuttles. Check it off someone. What did Locke teach you about reacting to setbacks mid-game? You don't. Now stop overthinking the macro. Shit. Locke's already back on his feet. I need to peel off some dragoons to deal with this vulture drop. Develop my dragoons battery rushes forward into another of my bases. I can let him like this. Handle this lost song when I can recover, but only if I will get time build kind of charging on alternate map. I need to get them before they can escape. Go. 1A, 2A. Finally, you go trade. And like this, roving harassment squad offers me the breathing room I need for a follow-up. Managed to sneak an arbiter past his defenses into his main. I have just seconds hit this recall before you need either EMPs or snipes. Baker, I need to move the mouse to the buttons. Yes, perfect. With the shock to his natural, it will be hard for him to pull back and defend this. Capping and destroying the protection of a meching Terran is as close to checkmate as he gets. I can win. Locke resists, pulling his vessel back to cast defensive matrix on his tanks right as they spawn. The damage I've dealt forces an endgame scenario. Rather than pull back and fight at disadvantage rest, Locke surges forward to crush my remaining waves. I split my army for this attack so I can stand against him. This comes down to one of our Locke can reinforce his army. Every tank I pick off puts me that much closer to victory. A Terran mech is considered the strongest army composition for a reason. It can stop me from pushing forward to my expansion. When I try, he crashes me. Game 1 goes to Locke. I lost. By far, more than fine. That was a good game. I show the crowd at least one more. Now, yeah? Step I forward the role of defender. Locke doesn't usually show much of an inclination to get aggressive. This tests my front with vultures. Shit, he managed to run by a gap. In my force should have put a gateway at the wall. Even if he might have sniped it later with tanks without blunder. Losing probes early can be truly crippling. I need to pull my units back move. Good, now get to my probes out of there into my fur base. Oof, my expansion is almost totally negative with the ramp circle north. Just one dragon stands between my economy and these vultures. I need to hold this right, get in position. Yes, I'm holding firm. I might be a little bit messing this. I just need to pick up this final few. No time to celebrate. Macro style now. The also spent on river play this time around. I have Storm ready for our first engagement in the map center. Your army is clunking on. Let's see if you move out of this. Yes, yes, but I'm not done yet. I have another. Must have hit before his upgrade's finished. With that skirmish one, I have more than enough units to clean up the civilian army remnants. Push forward, see the advantage. Nothing is satisfying as crushing his later things. Beautiful, I'm actually doing it, but I can't be complacent. Run down the metal checklist. Force Special, Cannons Construction, and Dragoon Guarding. With my economy secured behind this attack, I'm free to get aggressive. When I catch 4 tanks in stasis, I feel the crowd rumble. Unopposed, I march my Arbiter Cloaked army into its natural. Holy shit, I'm actually doing this. It's natural zone 4. I'm certainly will pull his poultry army back to punish me for that attack. But I got out of the plans. Rather than drain his economy for my units, why don't I just absolutely crush his economy for free? Recall now. Oh, I got you, King. 4 expansion ready, cannons, okay. Okay. Plus mining base, what volume from the session log type CG? Yes, I developed the series. Only A. I didn't get S. Wish I'd make it so far into a set against Locke. He opens gate 3 with predictable vulture pressure. So I cut my set defense thin as long as I can careful while zombies manage to be okay. Done. I've read the needle and prepare for a mid-game on even footing. We've gotten so for me this game, King Young. Nothing can break the flow state I'm in right now, not even this unfamiliar map. I hit my next macro cycle without even thinking about it. Shift, but despite my own point macro, Locke flexes his knowledge on the terrain to force my probes off my third base. Looks like I'm going to give up my third base. To Locke at least, but 2 can play at an unfamiliarity. When the last time you faced down Corsairs in TVP? When was the last time you faced down Corsairs in TVP, King Young? That's nothing you ever practiced, was it? what I had with Disruption Web early in the bracket gave me an idea when you have to try. This kind of play is macro-intensive and fragile, but deadly if the opponent is prepared. And for Locke's many strengths, he obviously was not prepared for Corsairs. Forced him of his entrenched position behind my far base and chased down his army. But that behind is already preparing Goliaths and vessels, but I'm ready to pivot. Rather than continue to invest in air units, my commands of skies offer me enough information to transition back into a ground army. I guard my Corsairs carefully, at least until they can get down their disruption webs. With his ranged units unable to fire, I can march straight into his tank line. Let's move. Working, my plan is working. Without the firepower of his full force, my zealots close the distance and unseat Locke from the center of the map. Pinch of access to his fortress. Yes, this will clear him. One bad. Like, if I can take down his armies, this won't be now or never go. 1-8, 2-8. I'm winning. No, I've already won. I just have to play it out. What? What is happening? How is that happening? Look, is a destroy. I have 5 days. Don't choke. He's going to type GG. Type GG. He left the game. In the game. God damn. So slow. An unbridled high cascades through my body. I scream, crush my headphones against the desk, and pump my arms, even knowing that a camera must be focusing on my face doesn't stop my celebration. Our vital girl reaching my back and pull from it means so good luck charm. Good luck is still when I pull it too and reveal a USB stick. I myself there for a study, but my ego that wants them. Without a clue as to whether or not it's allowed, I transfer the sets replay onto the thumb drive. Browsing on insisting that I acknowledge them finally leads me to the exit booth. Scream of the fans, the blazing music, the gush of the commentary. It's overwhelming. I can't yet comprehend this moment as real. I made the ICG too high. Finals. Someone. I feel the tightness in my chest and around the Talgukta. She's shaking on Sun's crossing my shirt. She shakes me twice, stumbles across, and then marches towards me. God, you did it! How? I don't even remember I was hoping to learn from you. Well, I only caught the end game of 3. It was the crown, they were so loud. But this is huge. I mean, you're actually going to win some prize money. People back home are going to lose their minds over this. You know, someone must be in tears. Because of all these fun clubs. And one, you're just 1 series away from the greatest upset of all time. Sure, the fans are going to start soon. Should you head back? They're squeezing in some sports announcement first, but I should. Well, are you all set? Food court's probably still open. But if one wants to do so, I have to do all of that at once. Especially if you feel more upbeat. What have you actually do? Oh, Lockett isn't killed. I know, let me get back in the zone. Alright, it's most important right now. Good luck, you can do this. I bet she was crying somewhere in the corner. Poor girl. Here's a nice center stage, a translator and a host between us. They ask what they're supposed to, how we feel, how much we practice, how what our plans are for the series. It's nothing but a formality. I can barely tell myself how I feel. My practice routine is the same as ever other KGB pro, and I can explain my plan, but I'll admit it's turning right there. But ACG's intention this moment is just for the crowd. It's between Fierce and me. Start down before the fight. A chance to lie and push and the last minute mind games. Scares the shit out of me. As an underdog, I have every right to walk into this match free of pressure. No one's expecting me to win, so no one will look down on me if I lose. The weight's been replaced by another. Those that were already driven Locke, a poor performance against his rival will make him look even worse. What did you think of Bolt's victory, Fierce? Really impressive. We're both toss players, so it's easy to see how well he knew Locke's style. Maybe even better than I do. So one of the protesters wrapped the South Korean flags backstage. One of us will drape it out around our shoulders before the crowd in less than an hour. I see that moment in my head, it's me. I've dreamt of total victory many times before, but not until now have I visualized it. I gave you the last word. Anything to say the fears? Just wants us to show the crowd some good games. Okay. When everyone else is finished talking, Fierce turns to me and offers a shake. And we turn for the booths. Game starts save, and on one against Fierce, I have very reasonable confidence in the stage of the game, and yet I'm not. Just can't shake this ominous feeling that the meaningless mistakes I made early in the bracket now actually matter. Fierce gives me no quarter. His massive Dragoon and Zealot army pins me against my expansion. I don't have time for or APM to rest with my shuttle and river and Ventus. It holds, now or never. Though we were trending heavily, he managed to get my shuttle. I need reinforcements. I don't think so. Sir Shorman hit this dragon exile. Shit, no. I need to get back to the battle. Pierce is pushing my multitasking to the absolute limit. But it's not enough. At every stage, Pierce simply had more of everything. Within game 1, with a GG, I went for my key to join the next game. Jesus, what am I supposed to do against that? At every stage, he had more than that I did. Faster reaction, more APM, and better control. I've been taking punches my whole life, but it felt like one swing from Fierce it's all it took to put me down in that game. A second later, the admin signals for me to join the next lobby. Again, the early game passes by without incident, and again Fierce tests my multitask focus from Sang1. Sang1? Hit this macro sec ASAP. I can't, I need to focus on this banner. I can't explain this sensation. It's like a weight I think I can lift. Fuck me! No, even while I'm focusing on the body, it comes through my armor before I can cast Storm. I have no mechanic abilities for how easily I'm supposed to. Do you ever had a hope of winning? The ability to respect I have before the next match, my discipline pulls me back from the ring. Beat Lock I can beat Fierce. I just know how I'm going to do it. Sure, good game, but that doesn't mean I can find an expected edge. That's has to start with believing it's possible to win. It's my last chance, game 3. If I'm going to pull the series back from here, I need 3 wins in a row. This time my force fierces and then I answer nearly gas steel with a greedy expansion. He's aware enough not to miss it and he hits with the dragoons time. Oh god, this is way more cannons than I want to build. And even in day in, I might not hold this. There's not even now this stepping out on the map. I have to hold, and for that I need the reinforcements move. Not now. My dragoons. I'm losing track on my internal checklist. I can keep up. I'm cornered. I'll watch my SCG run and after all that, I never had the chance. Okay. Nah, a lot, I guess. It is painful, but what I feel as I pull off my headphones and watch Chris smash onto the stage isn't that way. It's the realization. I'm not on his level, not even close. I can practice for a year straight while the rest of the world stands frozen and lag behind. The level of play he just demonstrated. Where fun an amateur believes they know the brilliance of a champion, but standing face to face with him, I didn't see him brilliance. I felt brutality. I move backstage with my head down in shame, but before I can find Jet, the production assistant tosses me adjustments back towards the stage. I turn to see Fierce waving at me. I take too long to realize that he wants me to join him. When I take that first step, Shadi's crowd's hums turn to another roar. What is it to them? Yo, here, grab this. He unfurls the flag from around his shoulders and offers me a part of it. After a moment of hesitation, I pinch a corner between two fingers, then with my fist. Ah, we share the flag. This guy is a good guy. Stiffness flees my body when we raised it overhead. I never heard so many cameras clicked in my life. Something warm and wet trickles down the side of my face through how I'm quick to wipe it away. Looks like it. I'm not seeing it. When does it turn into a major shithead? This is the moment I dreamed of, but I'm glad to experience it on my way. Is it soon? Oh, song 1. Cynthia snaps her arm around my shoulder and holds her cell phone in our calm mingled faces. After a flash, she checks the pic and releases me. What a display, bravo. With that victory, you'll take home at least as much as Shayhan. I see Jet's smile falter in the corner of my eye. I'm ready to excuse myself from the conversation when Cynthia does it for me. Hello, sometime Jet. Come now, boys. She leads her Nord squad up the stairs. Though it's far from her empty backstage, the reply from thousands of eyes offers me some much needed comfort as I join with Jet. I lost. Badly. Okay, it's better than okay, honestly, you know that. And to pretend it isn't, I got better lungs solely for first, regardless of the situation. Let myself be satisfied with second, I'm admitting something I'd rather not. It's Jet though. Even now, do I feel like I need to keep up with this mask? Work hard, you did your best, you're proud of what you accomplished. Well, what else is there to want? I'm sure this is but described with a boring panel. Luck never. I stopped. Jet looks says everything I've been trying to ignore after my victory against him. You know what? I'm done doing this. Why bother holding myself to impossible standards? Shouldn't second place at the ICG be allowed to set its own standards? You're right. I should be happy, and I am. Let's party tonight. Huh? You're in luck. We got an after party invite courtesy of Saint A. Oh, no, 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 no. And we got front row seats to the Counter-Strike final. We always think they watch. Okay. My shoulder see first mobbed by interviews and cameras. My hinge of jealousy eases when Jet and I turn the corner. I didn't watch Counter-Strike. An handful of Chinese fans assail us, mostly me, for photos and autographs. Sinfei's match is already underway by the time we escape. Just before we finally make it back into the ground, I spot two figures standing at the end of the hall. Share the seaside path with only a few others on our way to the after party. Past midnight, that's not far from Shane Young's mind, given the proximity she keeps to me. Just down this block, here. Got a right turn down a side street. Bars and late night restaurants line both blocks. Their signs flicker overhead and cast the passersby in red. I'll jet into one of the entrances labeled with three letters. ATV. It's what China calls a Norebank. Looks no different than a karaoke room back in Seoul. Language barrier between Jet and the staff denies us entry to the top floor until Sihei comes prancing down the steps. We wonder if you'd been joining us. Oh no, this is gonna go badly. I can already tell. She beckons us up 4 flights of stairs to emerge together in the picture's cute private lounge. Four tall blonde dudes, most with a date at their arm, acknowledge us bluntly. Korea! Eh? Oh my god. They're no they're no less pumped than they were on stage pose. Victory! Even Cynthia seems light on her feet. Aside from gatekeepers in their company and half dozen other fidgets separately at the room's edges. Among them, Zen and one of the Smash guys. I point out the former with a nudge. Psst, look, it's your best friend. And we even want to look at him. He notices our arrival and then pretends he didn't. I take that as an equivocal win. Jet and I find seats next to Intha. Nobody's drunk enough to take up the mic quite yet, though one of the Swedes is getting there. So in one second place, you were so certain the victory against Slovak was impossible. That didn't seem likely. Jet and I practiced slow, maybe more than I realized. But I practiced in a while. Everyone practices hard. Everyone who wins anyway. By the way, did you really have to invite him? Jet flings a hand towards them. He noticed, but can't tell if it is him or if Shen Yang is just an animated talker. You think I don't translate that? Cannot like get along with my guests? I at least expect you to tolerate them. You don't get how our games went. Circus vs. Scratch is such a coin flip. Ask him for a rematch. Surely jump at the chance to practice with the Korean. I will. The next time I'll face him, I'll... You know what? Hold it. I want social before we continue this. Aha, hold it. I must inform you that the last time I was a little post-tournament get-together of this sort. We had a minor incident of teen drinking. My own value system aside, it made for a problematic end to an otherwise fine evening. If you are not permitted to drink, then do not. Oh shit. I'll present him an acknowledgement. Alcohol flows, but not before one of Synth's teammates finally breaks the ice and graces with his miserable singing. Hope he's not... I want to backhand slap her. She's literally the rich girl that owns the place, so it is what it is. Hope it's not their team's shot caller. She would make a good pet, you know? Chet rushes into the arms of inebriation. The only thing holding her back is the need to keep up with the conversation. Oh, how would you rate your first ICG experience? Or to say when I played like log garbage? A better performance might have eased the pain you're feeling now, but try to look past it for a moment. How do you think the event was overall? It was a mess. ICG delayed your final for like 3 hours. Felt like they were just making it up as they went along. The events in Europe and America tend to be a little better, but they too have their problems. I'm not even mad about the whole thing, just embarrassed. They should try to learn from us. The biggest issue is outsourcing. Too many vital positions go to locals without enough experience. That's actually true. Broadcastings in Korea have consolidated organizers and considerable resources. Of course, it runs smoothly if you had almost 10 years to get it right. What? Am I supposed to feel bad for all the shit they put the players through? No, but personally, I'm more pleased to see esports grow worldwide than I'm frustrated about a few delays. Speaking of clusters, can you please explain to me why there's a window into the bathroom in our hotel room? Did you book some kind of voyeur discount for us? Oh, and the king bed too. It slipped my mind entirely. You fucking bitch. She did it on purpose. Now then. The window has no foul play on my part, someone. Common in Chinese hotels. One refrain is that it's a subtle way of encouraging those traveling for business to book multiple rooms. That the discomfort you experience was by design. I believe the root answer is much simpler. Chinese culture doesn't value privacy as much as yours or mine does. Really, that's obnoxious. And immutable if I have known the truth. But you do seem to have made it out mostly unscathed, no? Just one night to go. Learn to get comfortable traveling abroad, especially if your game's sequel is as big as some are anticipating. Have either of you played it yet? No. Ki Young has, so I didn't ask him about it. Law? Ah, wonderful. So I'll get the chance to asking myself if he shows. If I've had log. I expect a jolt of anxiety, but it doesn't come. What a welcome change. Could you visit for a bit? It's my turn on mic. Too much non-talking happening on the edges of the sofa. I'll have to remedy that. Oh, they're making out, I guess. Synthetic Lights Puzzles is the room addition with our C-pop selection. Only Jet and I will the ability to look away. Career room doesn't have soju, but it does have something apparently similar called Baiju? I don't know. Despite the horrible taste, Jet slams 2 shots back to back. Slow down there. We got it all night. I wasn't ready to lose like that. God, why me? Can't always win, just do better next time. Knocks away a hand I extend towards her and then throws her head back. It's not fine. It's fine for you because you did well. This is just... We practiced the same amount. You beat King Young and I lost to a foreigner. Few nearby eyes shift towards it, but only till a daring pulse from Sita snaps them back our way. That's not fair. I hate you. I hate your guts. Get everything I want. Give me that blank stare. I don't care. What are you talking about? Besides this? What? I really need to explain this? We had every opportunity that anyone could ever want, and then he decided to play StarCraft for some reason. I feel like my parents. I'm jealous. You're goddamn right. I could not envy you. Oh no, she's drunk. Run. You know when the the one girl that you actually support and appreciate gets all wild and drunk. If it was me, I'll be like, I need to go somewhere. Bye. Because I'm right. Right now, no matter how happy I am that this trip worked out for you, I can't think of anything else. But how much I want you to die. What the fuck? I was jealous when you joined Shock T1. Did you ever show it? I'm sure you would have given it a chance. Shit, stares into her binoculars. They wouldn't let me live in the team house. Said I might distract the other players that it wasn't appropriate. Ah, that kind of thinking, huh? Coach Kang promised they'd arrange sessions for me to show up and make time to train with me online, but it was rare if ever. Of course, right after I left, they announced the practice room. It was important that I was good, just that I was in the studio when they told me. You want to leave? Am I being a downer? Is that it? Or say you can go if you want. No, I'll stop. The celebrate, so I'll just stop. Rise and swing slightly on her way up. I'll be back. As someone towards the hallway, brushing past the tall figure on her way out. Oh no. King Young arches her past before he finds Cynthia's arm around his shoulder. In a side hug, even as she keeps up with her song. As breaking the lyrics, she holds into the mic at arm's length. So glad you could make it. Let me fetch you up here, though. I'm sure you and someone have plenty to talk about in the meantime. Oh, she's such a fucking bitch. Locke comes in, then pushes for her, moving down to take the seat on my left. That shady young seat. That's about me gazing impossible to read into those eyes, with Awardee instead sits in the empty space on my right. Coach Park not up for Norabang? No. But you are? Locke doesn't answer, even if family company is not the type to cut loose. He finishes out her song with some microphone twirling. Smash player actually applauds, and she blows a kiss in his direction, much to annoyance of his date. Before clunking back into her center seat. Ooh. Oh, am I up? I want to go. I was hoping to give each other a turn, but it seems she slipped out. Go ahead. Round one? Yeah. Gets pumped and rises alongside one of his teammates. He leans over me to speak to Locke. You know if Fierce is coming? I do not. Ah, it's a delight that you've decided to join us, King Young. I've spent plenty of time with Sung-Won and Shang Yang this weekend. StarCraft players make fine company when they are howling and overanalyzing. Jesus Christ, she's... That's so. Oh yes, he sets the sword. He set swordsmanship standard. I'll beat it into these boys of mine eventually. But if your players come to that conclusion on their own, forcing respect for them deserving undermines the concept. That is not an insight I would have arrived at on my own. If H has the edge in her gaze easily and offers Locke a glass, he declines. She shrugs and kindly refuels my beige you instead. nuances of your game are hard to understand, but I must ask. How much of StarCraft could you truly call a strategy game? Depends on skill. If you're not at the top while mechanics and macros decide game more often than strategy. I see. Then what about you and Law? How much did strategy decide the games you two play versus some other metric? None. None what? Oh no. She provoked this fucking conversation. What? You misplayed all over the place. No, I played standard. Used method, game knowledge, and gambled to great success. Same thing, are you making excuses? Tifa seems primed to wield her silver tongue to defuse the situation until I shift in front of her, effectively cutting her out of the conversation. This is not an excuse, it's what happened. Play predictably. I knew that and took a win. I washed up or what? You led us to last place in the team standing. Choked the championship despite all the practice I gave you. And now you lost to your training dummy you qualified through the open bracket. Oh boy. I bet it's no more than the other KPGA drone. But here I am in second place over you. Explain that. King Yang doesn't respond immediately. In the absence of conversation, I hear my own breathing through the chaos of someone singing karaoke. And that's though, it's with his full attention given to me. You did beat me today, but tomorrow is another day. The work you put into his achievement has only begun. I have no doubt you'll find your way back onto KPGA team, but you'll do with the opportunity that matters. Shut up. You can't condescend me. Not anymore. If that's what you wanted, you should have let Coach Park at me. Talk things for a long time about what to say next. And let Coach Park cut you. What? I told him to cut you. What? What? Why? Wild impulse rushes through my arm. I feel my fist tighten, but before I can cock it back, I spot Jill leaning against the doorframe. And one, let's. Oh no, she's fucked. She's fucked. Oh no, this is going sideways. Too fast. Oh no, please, chat, I don't want you to see this. Turn around, please, don't look. She's watching and grinning, blissfully unaware. Just why? What did I do wrong? Nothing makes sense, no matter how many times I run it through my head. I was improving, we had camaraderie, and our practice was good, so why? If you're good as you think you are, then prove it. Stop. I don't want advice or platitudes. All I want is the truth. I can't take it. No, you can't. And I spoke before rising to his feet. The exchange robs Cynthia of any grace in his departure, watching alongside Jed and me as he slips out without another word. The face of conversation clambers her way onto my lap and commands my attention with more physical contact. They had never been ready for. Oh oh. Oh no. She's completely fucked up. And this I made him a total a-hole. So this is the thing? Because the other guy didn't tell him? I know it's fucked up for what he did, but not knowing the reason. No. Something more. Song one, can we sing now? Hey, Jesus Christ. Too close. Personal space, personal space. Um, sorry for inviting. I wasn't aware you wanted on good terms. Jet, you were right. That line sobers her up a bit. She climbs off me and slaps her hand onto my shoulder. Oh, I've never heard something so sweet. A concession from someone. That's an excellent thing for a from a Star League win. She pumps both under the mic on the table and I answer with a sigh and reach for it. Oh my god, they were gonna sing. Let it out. What should we sing? Why don't you pick? You only get one song before it's someone else's turn, you know? So make it count. Let me think. I can think of anything. Really? Can we pass out for now? Huh? So are you drinking something? Whatever. Guess we skip. I didn't click there. I should have clicked there. My bad. Like that also said with me. Fuck. I fucked up. It's becoming hard to keep a smile off my face since I throws ring back like a shable executive and it's finally starting to affect her boys. Young, shall I take you along on a world tour? Turns out they flock to your angry demeanor. I can see it clearly. Nothing yet to hear you say, Baka Janai. Oh my. Let me the fuck out. I'm not really cut out for that kind of thing. Half of the guys at the Gear Flame booth were only there because they've never spoken to a girl in real life. Oh my god. Our performance is our job, nay, our duty to give the people what they want. Maybe you are, but I'm a competitor. Skill alone should carry my name. It would if you won every game you played, but take a moment and think. Every esports champion, every successful person, what are the barriers they face on their way to glory? Same for everyone, you have to grind. Message the translator, or do you want to do it via voice? Via voice, because it would be better by voice, but it's really fast. It's not nothing big. Do you prefer from message? In order to translate into message, it's a little harder. It will take a little more time. This is like 2 minutes in via voice. Oh my god, what the fuck? Same for everyone, you have to grind. Wrong, my dear. She punctuates her decree with a snap. Half of the room momentarily glanced away from Zan's mumbled rap. Mumble rap? I'm gonna vomit. Mumble fucking rap! That's not rap, it's garbage. It's MGK now. This is too old to be MGK, bro. This is the early 2000s. Can be, man. I think it's the early 2000s. Yeah, early 2000s because it is the very first when Counter-Strike was getting popular, so it's early 2000s. When Bolt yearned to play Sakura, he simply did. There are hundreds of Bolts. Boys became stronger through some combination of luck, time, and talent. Hey, I'm one of a kind, bitch. Started around 07 though. Yeah, but it was a mumble rap, okay? Che Young quiets me with a pencil in the back of my arm. Just of a wall face those semi-initial barrels of luck mental, but that's a critical addition. Sakura's isn't for you, says your cultural and every other. You don't see jets in Excel or in great number at your local PC bank. What? I play the PC bank with my brother all the time. And what luck you had him. Otherwise, imagine allowing yourself to devote as much time to StarCraft. It's untenable for Moscow to play a competitive game for hours to on end in our formative years. Years you'd otherwise be friends shun you from your bizarre and supposedly masculine hobby. You find yourself surrounded by men with whom you share little in common aside from the game you play. Not an environment that fosters passion or growth, those few remaining jets certainly improve as their bold counterparts do. So many are squeezed to the pressure and quit. All this to say, don't compare yourself to Bolt. But I'm concerned you have already accomplished far more than you'd have in your shoes. Even if all that's true, I'm not saying it is. What good does knowing it do for me? Right now I can pay for an apartment without reaching into my savings. I'm not where I want to be. I'm telling myself that's okay, it won't help me get there. I said that perfectly well, but this brings us back to where we started. Why suffer guilt if someone offers a little help? Take the advantage today and dismantle the iniquities tomorrow. Look, I get that you have this big picture view of things. It's a man role, I guess, but if I'm honest, I don't care about being anything for anyone. That includes the jets, as you put it. It's a shame. Don't tell me, Shane Young. What would satisfy you above else? I want to control all manager executives that pushed me into the interviews and photo shoots when I should have been training. I want to prove they were wrong about me. The only way I can do that is to become as strong and destroy everyone. You'd be hard-pressed to find a starving competitor whose every insecurity and worry won't be solved by a championship. Long one? How would you describe Shang Long? She's my partner in rival. The only reason I performed well at ICG was all the practice she gave me. Plus, she's got a need to one-up me that keeps me on my toes. Obviously, he's going to say that Sangwon and I are close. Oh no, I know they won't accept me like he does. Until I prove it. Why don't you get this? Your team won 2 days, of course people respect you as a player. But there must have been a time before you won anything when they didn't. There was. And many asserted I was a hacker. It didn't stop me from entering online accounts until finally I was recruited by an amateur team. At my first big LAN, I was so racked by my nerves that I missed nearly all my shots. It enabled people to speak their mind at me much more often. That's horrible. But even after the teams wanted me since they could put a face to my name. What I found in the year that followed were broken promises and lessons to go with them. Frankly put, I have never been the ace of any team I've joined. I realized that if having my name on the roster courts sponsors to pay for 4 other world-class players, I don't need to be. And you're okay with that. I dream of a single-handed flawless victory, of course. But as well as these offshoots. Oafs? How do I pronounce that? I can't remember. They can barely book their own plane tickets. Gatekeepers won 50 grand at this tournament, the top prize pool of the year. This is a made-up number. No one made that much money back then. No one. In fact, I've been thinking of moving into a team owner role. Exactly the fate I've been trying to avoid. I don't want to let the messed up system shoehorn me into a role I think I'm better suited for. I want to play, that's all I want. No misunderstand, Counter-Strike has been my greatest passion for more than 5 years. But there will come a day when I set aside this line for something new. When it's time, I can let myself be afraid to step away. I can ride until we're dust, but I'd rather keep that spark lit somewhere inside of me. I never worry about burnout, I'm too vindictive for it. I have this urge that you want to celebrate them. This is the one thing I know for sure. I know it's unhealthy, but I'd be lying to myself if I had a set spine isn't what pulls me out of bed most days. Relief to understand that about myself. You're an unusual girl, Shea. Motivated one with a clear goal and the means to achieve it. I'm glad to have shared your company this weekend. Can't offer me a job. I've been complaining about we wouldn't have been able to come here in the first place. How are you? I'll ask you to tell you. You need to believe in it, but lift up another chance when you find yourself with the means to. Please don't ask me, hey, what do you think it means to be a pro gamer? Hope you're ready for a cynical take. Jeff thumps her chest twice and grunts. She eliminates all distances between herself and CFA, much to Jessica's amusement. Yes, give it to me. Go off, King. Pro gaming is a ridiculous life. I can count on one hand the number of Americans who have turned their skill at games into a healthy career. Counting yourself? Careful, Sang-Hwa. As one equipped, potentially take advantage of the growth that seems to be on the horizon, I acknowledge that I am in a unique position. Because you have money. Because my father has money. For the majority of programmers, the uncertainty must be crushing, knowing that compels me to manage my privileges responsibly. We all know that someday esports will be a popular mainstream enterprise. And what we don't know is whether that means 10 or 50 years. 10. Actually, around 15. That's whether there's any point in investing today. What's certain is our love for the game. What we do if you want to pay us mind or money. We've got that. And most of us do too. For now, everything else is icing for the cake. Since it's from the experience and knowledge, I don't know much about Frank's face, but she's unique within the industry. KPGA. What do you know about the Korean Programming Association? A little bit, and questions about the need for such an organization abroad, but they're clearly done a good work for StarCraft. Hopefully, the developers of the games we play will probably fulfill that role for us. Hello, Riot Games. So, even though Riot Games is a pushover on their own games, they actually delusional in certain stuff. Weasel, you ever played League of Legends? Once? Only once? Ah, don't lie to me. Yep, don't like it. You prefer Dota? I prefer Dota. But I can't play Dota alone. Playing Dota alone is the equivalent of losing your goddamn mind. What's Dota? Is the actual original MOBA. Do you know that? And the best version of it. Period. I don't care. Dota is not that. It's so complicated, not that popular. Who gives a fuck? Fuck off. Already in the distance for the games to succeed. But it's a bad taste in my mouth. No one owns basketball or soccer, nor should they. KPGA does good work for esports. I'm aware that the average Korean feels differently about this than the average American or European. Yeah, because there's so much nuances to it. But this is a war you are destined to lose. True. She's actually right. What I'm curious about is the role the KPGA plays in managing its players. Are there regulations on base salary or set hours? Not at all. All they care about is greasing the wheels and pulling in sponsors. The KPGA is on the player's side. There will come a day when programmers wield enough power to consolidate into a union. Well, there's something like that, but it's garbage. Like professional athletes here in America. But I don't believe we'll see it until I have a long retired. Yep. There are player associations, unions. Majority of them do nothing or are garbage and biased. Unfortunately. there are unions and regulators that are actually on the side of players that are doing good work, but compared to the companies that own the competition, they're still really small. I'd rather play Monopoly than I play LoL. True. Right. But you remember playing League, right? How was it? The very first time you played it, how was it? Give me a rundown of your feelings. We should play Monopoly once. Uh, you want you want our friendship to end that badly, eh? You know that Monopoly ends families and friendships, right? Toxic? Well, yeah. Something like that is unnecessary. If there is a demand for us, we won't need to scheme behind closed doors. You may wish to consider why the vast majority of programs can pay rent, but those who organize your labor wear suits. A players' union must be a club meeting or a group text. For it to have any purpose, it must be a force. The strong must fight for the weak. Great. This is the first time we've spoken about this, is it? One has plenty of free time to think during international travel, Shane. Chat was filled with toxic. Was my first time. Never had a fun too. Oops, never had a fun time. I see. But the game itself, apart from the community, what do you think about the game? The gameplay? How did it feel? So that I'm not in a position to oppose the economic interests of future programs for their sakes. Given that your dad used to work at the Eclarsoft, you'll be at home if you ever have to get involved with KBGA. Yes, the career companies that sponsor have wanted and valuable organization. We are interested to know how and why your country's shables became so involved with StarCraft. That's putting towards a certain pride for a country that is number one at something, right? Especially for the XSL title sponsors. It's about that association. Yeah, well, I won't drink charge just because Fears told me to. Maybe someone stupider might. Young, you should know it isn't that simple. As long as our livelihoods are beholden to the whims of advertisers, it's important to understand their inner workings. Yeah. I see Japan's. That doesn't bother me. Why did Jet tell you that I was her brother? This is especially because Spanish shifts her eyes to Shenyang. She says nothing, leaving Jet to fill the awkward silence. To get you a free plane ticket? But how? I don't understand how that earned me an expensive flight. Can we not do this? What did you say? I told her that was your carer, and I couldn't leave you home alone. Finally come that slow? No, Dora is way slower, but for a reason. God damn! Doesn't it look okay? I told her I was sick, like terminally ill. There's an art to my ways. To know every detail of their workings ruins the magic behind them. What the fuck? Okay, you know what? Never mind. Yikes! Hey, my brother is dying. Can he come? Bruh! Tell us about yourself. I want to know more about the pro gamer scene. Hey. No. Tell us about Jessica. I want to know about your life before you got into all of this. Are you sure? Since life is more extended than Jessica's was. Ah, so her name is Jessica. Very well, only if you promise to share as well, Shay Young. We had top of the line computer hardware in our home as long as I can remember. Rich girl with rich PCs? Never saw that one coming. For many of the pre-installed programs, I was a test audience of one of for my father. He's a man who lives and breathes his works. The little time he made for me as a child was precious. In every sense, he made sure I was well equipped for 8 years of boarding school. Oh, for fuck's sake. My mother, less so. I didn't fit the mold of the daughter she had planned for, much to her displeasure. I spent my summers home from school entirely in devotion of Counter-Strike. Pog. I'd like it to be somewhere very different right now if she had tried a little harder. A day drinking Chardonnay with her old sorority sisters was just too enticing. Oh, that shit, man. Your turn. Someone, would you mind going first? What? I never agreed to volunteer to that kind of information. We're colleagues, we're drinking. Be a good sport. Fine, my dad's a partner at a financial company. He and my mom don't like StarCraft. Naturally. Huh? That's really... that's really all I have to say. Bullshit. You complain about them all the time. When I was younger, I don't agree with how they feel, but I at least try to understand and empathize with them. If you're not going to be honest, then I'll just go. Someone already knows most of this, but my dad had a solid career as a construction manager. He even got my older brother good work right out of his high school. The same taught you StarCraft? Yeah. My parents were cool. If I was happy, they were happy. I loved my childhood. And then one day my dad tried to embezzle money out of one of his company's projects and got caught. Oh. Oh. Fraud. Money laundering, huh? Hmm? I don't know why he did what he did, but it was pressure to keep up our lifestyle or just plain greed. I tried to pay the money into my brother's account, which implicated them both, with mounting court costs and no income. My mom had to go back to work. My brother gets out next year, but my dad has another 5 years to go. Oh, her brother's in prison. That's unfathomable. How old are you? 14. My uncle stepped in and told my mom, but I didn't want anything to do with anybody, really. Thank God for PC banks, the people and games decide them. Jet stares at me for a moment and looks away. I hope that confining in US software gives you the comfort you deserve. It affected me back then. Us, not US. That's undeniable, but I've been to those feelings so far down I'm not even sure how I feel anymore. Sure they'll bubble back to the surface probably someday. Here's to that. She clings her glass against mine and drowns herself in beige. That's everything I could possibly want to bring up. Lots to take in, plus it's getting kind of late. Foreigners have plenty of ground to make up when it comes to esports, but you're different from the rest of them. Thanks for everything, Sensei. Someone, a word of advice. A man I respect once told me that the more you learn about esports, less you know is certain. There's no other fault than defeat at the hands of the mock. Don't underestimate your games, foreigners. Jay Young, remember? You may not like it, but you have a duty to more than just yourself. For the sake of all Jets, play well. Oh, there. Is it my turn again? If I sets her glass down and waves her way through a dozen legs with a mic in hand. It's advised that we avoid cabs. This lane gives us a chance to enjoy this walk one last time. Unlike before, Jet shows no reason in knocking against my arm when it's so late. Cause me no great rush to return. Grain and hissing the sea may be fixed enough moonlight to bathe our walk home in white. When I got Jet staring up at me, it started to ignore her melancholy. Got what we came for, I'm glad. And what about you? I'm going to Hargark and find my next opportunity. That's all I know how to do. You complain a lot, we really are tough. Tough. To make it sound so lofty. Just a girl who wants to play a game. That's all you were. Uh-oh. Alcohol is speaking for you. Calm down the thing in your pants. I sure love before I could figure out what I want to say at first. I think that she didn't notice. That is, until we've read the rest of the way to a hotel in silence. I think it's because my son. See, it's a see-through bathroom, you know? In one bed. Shay. Because my son stumbles her way to the hedge over her bed. How long are you gonna stream today? How many? Not too long. I want to end. Let's end this part and I'll go my way. I think chances when we get back, we'll train whether or not the team that wants me allows it. I make a promise you can't keep. And what does it change what I just said? Young doesn't buy, but she's too tired to say more. Then I'll start Discord. Yeah. But she's too tired to say more. I watch her inch up the bed and fumble her way onto a pillow. I'll faster get some sleep when I'm ready. Oh, this time hold steady. What the? Who said you could come back here? Oh, sorry, but this is a big moment. I just want to congratulate him in a way that's memorable. So just act like it's everything normal and we'll do the rest. Mister, is that you? The long past we watch Mrs. head inch above the counter, stopping once her eyes are level with the servers. Oh my fucking god, this fucking fun girl. Surprise! What? The zombie one as well, what she said. Why am I here? Why is my existence a thing? She's such a mood. She said some things earlier like, that's me. That's me. Literally me. My depression right there. That's her. That's me. What she said. And that's the second song on. I'm totally dying to hear about the trip. I screamed like crazy when I saw you beat look. That she did. Oh, she was screaming here? Oh, fucking me. Ah, come on. You seem pretty happy too, Mr. Clark. Of course. I put bets on his games. Someone's win paid out all your odds. I suppose you can have today free of charge for now. Oh, you bet, you fucking old fuck. Less people hang out with no the girl, the zombie girl, like the depression. Yeah, I'm like that. I was like that. Now I'm a little more talkative, but I'm always cracking out, self-deprecating, and talking like that, especially around my friends, because when they are going, ah, I'm like, why are you so noisy? What is happening? Obviously on stream I need to be a little more. I don't like noise, me neither. Obviously when I'm being passionate and whatnot about stuff I like, I can be noisy as well, but it's so rare. Most of the time I'm like that. I need a fucking coffee. That's me. Why is everyone running? You know what? Whatever. That's me. You'd be surprised about all the expats and bitter leftists will put on a game of StarCraft. Can we take this somewhere else? Well, that means I'll go shop. Right, so we're already on the... Yes. Right, save. Let's host someone, shall we? Yeah, we actually
Look at that cute galaxy butt.
shut the fuck up. Said you could talk. Oh, we can go. Can go here. Let's host
There
this.
goes again.
There it goes again. Let's read this all. Right, Rizzo, see you on Discord. Thank you for the company, though. And everyone else that was lurking or possibly just watching, thank you very much indeed. Love you all. See you next time. Mwah.
What the fuck?